Oh, how we missed you, college football. But you are back in all your glory in the Commonwealth of Virginia at SB Ballard Stadium, where a sold-out crowd greets the Virginia Tech Hokies and the hometown Old Dominion Monarchs. A fledgling ODU program in its first year and first game in the Sun Belt takes on one of the powerhouses of the ACC with a new man in charge. Brent Pry, season number 1 in Virginia Tech, facing against one of his close friends, Ricky Ronnie, the two assistants together at Penn State and Vanderbilt for 9 years. And when you know it, in Brent Pry's first game as head coach, they go head-to-head. Kevin Brown, Hudson Mason, former Georgia quarterback. It's a thrill to have college football back. And this is a really interesting matchup, too. A game won by Old Dominion 4 years ago. The Hokie fans don't want to think about that. They don't want to think about the past. They want to think about the future, and the future they hope is bright with a new man in charge.
Yeah, and for Virginia Tech, it's all about the start of a new era in more than one ways. It's the start of a new era for Brent Pry, but it's also the start of a new era for Grant Wells, the quarterback who's come over from Marshall. And there is an optimism and energy around this Virginia Tech football program that hasn't existed in quite a while.
They needed a head coach that bled maroon. They got one in Brent Pry, who was a graduate assistant at Virginia Tech way back in 1995 through 97. 31 years as a college football head coach. It's been a bit of a meandering road to get back here where he always felt he belonged. Defensive coordinator, linebackers coach for James Franklin for over a decade between Vanderbilt and Penn State. And it's a roster that needed an infusion of talent, a team that really struggled to throw the ball last year. Adds one of the best available transfers, Grant Wells from Marshall.
Yeah, they go out and add one of the better gunslingers through the transfer portal, and that's exactly how I would describe him. Gunslinger. He'll let it rip in the windows that a lot of people can't throw it to. He's got a live arm. He's got a lot of experience, a 2-year starter at Marshall. The one question mark is, can he cut down on the turnovers? 22 turnovers in 2 seasons at Marshall.
Won a game over Old Dominion last year, Grant Wells, so he knows this team. And it was a Monarchs team that was in the midst of a real struggle when they faced Grant Wells and Marshall a season ago. It's taken a while for Old Dominion to get to where they think their football potential is, and they feel like they're on the right track finally after a 2020 season that did not happen. ODU, one of the few schools to cancel its football season due to the COVID-19 pandemic. They came back in 2021, did not get off to the start they wanted, 1-6, but rallied. 5-0 in their final 5 games to become bowl eligible and make just their second bowl game in program history, the Myrtle Beach Bowl, where they would lose to Tulsa. But the loss is a footnote to a phenomenal end of the season for Old Dominion with 2 burgeoning stars at the skill positions.
Yeah, Old Dominion's got 2 elite Sunday-type guys at the skill position group. Tight end Zach Coots, 73 receptions last year. That was second among tight ends in college football. 6'8", an absolute matchup nightmare. And then Ali Jennings out wide, who can take the top off the coverage.
There hasn't been much of an atmosphere like this in the short football history of the Old Dominion Monarchs, a program that began in 2009, has only been in FBS for around a decade or so, and tonight will host its largest crowd in program history. Every seat sold, 21,944 here in beautiful Norfolk, Virginia. They are an underdog, but not a major underdog at home to a Virginia Tech team that is going through a coaching change, has not had a couple of good recruiting cycles. There is optimism, as you said, Hudson, in Blacksburg, but for right now, Old Dominion feels like it has more than a puncher's chance to take out an ACC school.
They really do. They return a lot of starters on both sides of the ball, 10 on defense, 7 on offense. They return a lot of playmakers out wide, but more importantly at the quarterback position.
Ricky Ronnie, the head coach in his 3rd year and 2nd season, took over before the 2020 year that never was. One of the bright young coaches in the game. His offense and Brent Pry's defense were rather feisty, often in combat in practices at Penn State. The two who are close, their families, their kids are close. They haven't talked that much this offseason because they earmarked this date. And college football returns on this date, September the 2nd, 2022 in Norfolk, with Virginia Tech in possession and Keyshawn King tripped up near the 25. So a fired up Old Dominion crowd will get its first taste of Grant Wells in a Hokie uniform led a comeback against Old Dominion with Marshall last season.
Yeah, there's familiarity with Grant Wells on both sides of the ball. Like you mentioned, when he was at Marshall as a 2-year starter last year, he led Marshall to a victory over Old Dominion. Talking to Blake Seiler, the defensive coordinator for Old Dominion, he said one thing he wants to do better is trust his corners and put pressure on the quarterback through blitzing.
Wells, the first freshman to be named first team all-conference in Conference USA history, and this first play is to the tight end Nick Gallo. A short pickup for Virginia Tech on first down, a gain of 4 on the first play from scrimmage this season. Grant Wells out of Charleston, West Virginia. He actually drove up to Blacksburg for Frank Beamer's last game. His father David, a Virginia Tech alum. It's a full circle moment for Grant, who will wait for a penalty call, the first of the game.
Illegal snap. Offense number 55. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Dwayne Winkler, our referee. Johnny Jordan, the center for Virginia Tech, with a penalty. And there are the numbers for Grant Wells. His dad David tried out for the Hokies football team in 1987. Tried to get there as a walk-on, but doctors found a heart murmur. He could not play, but he did graduate in 1991. And now here is his son firing a strike for completion. Caleb Smith gets those 5 yards back, but it is 3rd and long coming up for Virginia Tech.
And this is an area where defensive coordinator Blake Seiler really feels like they can improve the most second time around facing Grant Wells. 3rd and medium. He said he wants to pressure and trust his senior corners that he's got out wide, and Trey Hawkins and Tobias Harris.
It is an empty backfield on 3rd and 6. Whole lot of noise in Norfolk, and Wells right against the pressure delivers a dart. The first down of the season to the tight end Gallo.
And there he is. He brings a pressure straight off the edge to the left. Virginia Tech offensive linemen do a great job picking it up, and Grant Wells does what a quarterback has to do, is he makes a defensive coordinator pay when he blitzes.
9 yards to Gallo and another passing play. Been a pass-heavy start. This is Caleb Smith, the leading returning receiver. Maybe a couple.
It's going to be interesting coming in this game to see what offensive coordinator Tyler Bowen, what his offense was going to look like. First time calling plays for him. Dates back to his relationship at Penn State with Brent Pry, and coming over from Jacksonville being the tight ends coach.
There are about 1 million Penn State connections with these staffs. There are about 1 million overlaps between Virginia Tech and Old Dominion staff members who've gone from one place to another. It's a game chock full of subplots, which finally includes a running play. Keyshawn King gets the first carry of the season, the redshirt junior. Virginia Tech without its leading returning rusher Malachi Thomas. Jalen Holston, the scheduled starter, a game-time decision, and it is King, the redshirt junior, who gets the first run.
Yeah, you're going to see some names that you probably didn't expect to see get a little bit more playing time tonight at the running back position.
Third and 5. Wells, some contact there and no penalty. Dawan Lofton was covered by Robert Kennedy, the junior safety, and Old Dominion holds up on the second, 3rd down.
Well, you see the pressure right here through the middle. Both A-gaps, both linebackers are brought. Forces the ball to come out quick of the hand of Grant Wells, and nice tight coverage in the secondary by Robert Kennedy. I love how defensive coordinator Blake Seiler didn't go away from the blitz, even though he got burned by it the first time on 3rd down. He came back to it, he trusted his guys, and that's what it's going to take to put pressure on the quarterback.
Told us it was all about 3rd medium against Grant Wells. They go 1 for 2, get the ball back on this first drive. Isaiah Page, an all-conference punt returner, is waiting, and the clock is run out here on Virginia Tech.
Kicking team. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
So, the least penalized team in the ACC in 2021, with a pair of penalties on the opening drive in 2022. Peter Moore, who is the lone all-ACC returner, the Hokie punter, will kick it away to Page. Old Dominion, a very good special teams group a season ago. There's a great punt by Moore, pinning Page back at the 11-yard line. A punt of 52 and no return. It'll be Monarch ball for the first time this season when we return. If there was a bingo card for this game, the free space in the middle would be Penn State reference. Brett Pry, 8 years defensive coordinator. Rick Urani was the OC for 6 of those. Those two went head-to-head in practice. They're very good friends working for James Franklin. There's Ricky on the left, there's Brent on the right. Both knew the other one would be a head coach someday, and both said this week their relationship with the other one is good, but they wish it was better. They're happy that their respective friends are getting head coaching jobs, but they're not happy. They're going to have to play each other for a long time. These schools are locked into a contract to play the next 10 years. Hayden Wolf will take the first snap for Ricky Ronnie's Old Dominion Monarchs. And Wolf will hand it off to Blake Watson, 4th leading rusher in the conference a season ago, and a gain of 3 yards. Well, for the first time, Hayden Wolf starts a season under center. Sophomore who gained about 15 to 20 pounds of muscle in the offseason. You see at the bottom there, Hudson, a 5-2 record. They really took off when he became the starter last year.
Yeah, they really took off offensively when he started to excel in the RPO game, the run-pass options. Quick hands and makes good, quick decisions in the run and pass game.
Looking for the tight end, Zach Kuntz, instead checks down. And a short pickup shy of the first down for Watson. Dax Hollifield, Virginia Tech's leading tackler, made the play.
Now that decision right there doesn't seem like a big one, but the ability to get through his progressions and get to a check down quickly now puts them in a third and more manageable situation. Hayden told us when we met with them this week that the coaches were hammering to him all offseason. You can't go broke without taking a profit.
His big target is Kuntz, the tight end, number 80 at 6'8". He's in the slot right on this 3rd and 3. Hollifield brings pressure. It's picked up, and Hollifield got his hands to it. The pass is incomplete. A little bit shy of Jordan Bly. Hollifield had the pressure up the gut, and a 3-and-out for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, they bring pressure right up the middle, and Hayden goes away from the pressure, but it's tipped by Dax Hollifield, the heartbeat, the inside linebacker, the Mike linebacker of this Virginia Tech defense, a guy that's played a lot of snaps, and a guy that really the coaches gelled with and molded with extremely quickly. And that's what makes this Virginia Tech defense kind of scary. They got a playmaker in every part, every level of the defense from the secondary down.
Ethan Dwayne will punt to DJ Harvey. Should be good field position for the Hokies. That's not a good punt by Dwayne. It takes a fortunate Monarchs bounce, though, a very fortunate bounce, and just keeps on rolling. Ultimately a kick of 48. Now Virginia Tech will begin its second drive. Brent Pry takes over for Justin Fuente this year, a Virginia Tech tenure that had more downs than ups. Fuente and the Hokies parted ways near the end of the regular season. They did beat Virginia in the regular season finale to make a bowl. They were smashed by Maryland in the Pinstripe Bowl. Braxton Burmeister didn't turn it over much, but it was not an explosive offense. 97th in the country in scoring offense, 112th in FBS and pass yards, just over 176 passing yards per game. Here's King on the run, trying to spin free of a tackle, gets a little bit extra, and Hudson, it was just not an explosive offense for Virginia Tech a season ago. They're hoping Wells will change that.
Yeah, I mean, he brings experience, he brings a presence to the room, and more importantly, he should bring stability to the room. He's got a chance because of an extra year in eligibility of COVID to potentially be a 3-year starter. To put that in perspective, Virginia Tech has had 7 starting quarterbacks in 6 years.
Last starting quarterback, 20 games or more in college, Michael Brewer. 7 years ago. Big pressure there. Still got rid of it, Wells. And Caleb Smith is inside the 25. Oh, Wells took a blow and then delivered one of his own right over the top of Trey Hawkins.
Well, they bring a corner blitz. Artarian Johnson from the boundary, and Grant Wells hangs in there and delivers a strike.
A 40-yard play, and now a slippery run by King. Grant Wells has already endeared himself to these Hokie fans.
Well, it's a perfect pressure, but Grant Wells sees the pressure, he stares it down, and he still delivers a strike. And this is how you earn the respect quickly of your teammates. When you know you got to stand inside the pocket, stare down the gun barrel, and still deliver it, there's not a better and quicker way to earn the respect of your teammates than reps like that.
Wells will take it this time. He is all alone. He is going to score. Grant Wells immediately stamps his name into Virginia Tech's program with an 18-yard touchdown run after a 40-yard strike a couple of plays ago. And it is a lightning quick start for the new man under center.
Well, Tyler Bowen, the offensive coordinator, told us he is more athletic than people give him credit for. And there you see it, just a zone read. He's got his eyes on the defensive end, Harris. The defensive end crashes and he pulls it, and there's no secondary player to account for the quarterback.
Had 9 rushing touchdowns in 2 seasons at Marshall. Extra point is up and through. Will Ross, the new kicker. The first drive, only 1 first down for Virginia Tech. The second, and the Hokies look like a finely tuned machine. The hit by Johnson. Wells shakes it off, and a couple of plays later, he gives the Hokies the first score of 2022. First time Virginia Tech visited Norfolk 2018. The Hokies were ranked 13th, flying high after a 2-0 start. Old Dominion was 0-3. It did not go as planned. Blake LaRussa came off the bench and threw for 495 yards and 4 touchdowns. The signature moment maybe in the Old Dominion program history, a 49-35 stunner in a game where ODU was a 28.5 point underdog. It was maybe the low point. There were a few Justin Fuente's Virginia Tech era, a Hokies team that was expected to be a prime ACC contender. It's a signature moment for Old Dominion, and certainly 28.5 points. We're nowhere close to that kind of spread today, as Old Dominion thinks they can pull off another upset.
No, we're not, but Old Dominion has got a lot of talent offensively. They return a lot of starters, and more importantly, the most important position, which is the quarterback.
Marion James, good kick returner, knocked down to the 20 here. Do you remember that game from 4 years ago? I remember sitting in an airport just being stunned as the scores kept rolling in.
Yeah, I remember it as clear as day.
They do around here, by the way. They haven't forgotten about it anytime soon.
No.
It's just the 4th meeting between these teams. They're going to play for the next 10 years, and Virginia Tech will be making the trip down here several times. This is a big recruiting area for Virginia Tech. Norfolk, Hampton Roads area. A lot of great Hokies have come from here, and they're hoping to put on a show for the traveling faithful. Hayden Wolf will begin the second drive for Old Dominion. Running back is Watson, and Watson will take it, bounce it, and pick up a good chunk on first down. Nasir Peoples, the All-ACC honorable mention safety, runs him out after a gain of about 7.
Well, Virginia Tech defense does a really good job of kind of forcing the ball to the perimeter. The problem is the safety or the outside linebacker should have that gap, and that's what Blake Watson is good at. He's very patient. If he doesn't see it initially, he'll find that hole, even if he's got to bump it to the outside.
Ran for 102 yards per game last year, 4th best in the conference. He is the guy in this running back room. Watson will take it again, dance around in the backfield, and he is just a little bit shy of the first down. The hope from Ricky Ronnie is not to get Blake Watson 215 carries again. He was just so good last year they couldn't help it. Ran for 8 touchdowns, over 5 per carry. And Watson here is absolutely walloped in the backfield. Needed a yard and went nowhere. And nowhere would have been an improvement as Virginia Tech holds up for a second straight drive. It was Narell Pollard, the defensive tackle in the backfield.
The Old Dominion tries to come up and run a little bit of a tempo. New offensive coordinator Kevin Riener decides he wants to go a little bit of NASCAR tempo and 3rd and short, but Virginia Tech totally expecting it. And Narell Pollard right there, the defensive tackle position, shoots the gap and splits the double team and gets a tackle for loss.
12.5 tackles for loss for the senior captain in his career. 3 touches for Watson, who's touched it 5 of the first 6 for ODU. Harvey, there was contact there, and that is not legal. Punt of 48. Much of that yardage is about to be subtracted.
Kick catch interference. Kicking team number 2. 15-yard penalty. First down.
There's Lamarian James flying down the field overzealously.
See if he sees a fair catch. See it in that shot.
Oh, I didn't see one either.
A lot of times now the referees are really having conversations with coaches and punt returner, kick returners about, when you're waving your hand, try to be intentional about it. And it's hard, easier said than done for these guys that are catching punts. Sometimes they just wave their hand really quickly and it can be kind of easy to miss. We saw it last night in the West Virginia Pitt game where both guys actually waved their hand and just got the ball on the 1-yard line.
I think we saw everything in the West Virginia Pitt game last night. What a way that was to start week 1. Maury Morrison with a stop here after a run of a yard by Keyshawn King. What's exciting you the most about the start of this season? I know we're only a few minutes in, but you got to have the juices flowing.
I just think there's a lot of interesting storylines in a lot of different conferences. I mean, Old Dominion going to the Sun Belt. Sun Belt, great Group of 5 conference. Virginia Tech, what's that going to look like this year?
Wells, incomplete. Off the hands of Gallo. Tight coverage will set up a 3rd down and 9. It was Terry Jones, the sophomore safety.
Old Dominion bringing in some fresh legs along the defensive line here, getting to their nickel sub package. Nickel meaning 5 DBs on the field in a predictable passing situation.
Blake Seiler, defensive coordinator for Old Dominion in his 3rd year. Part of a very young coaching staff, the youngest in the nation. Wells pressured. Wells runs it. Wells not close. Needed 9, got 4. Davey Harris, a transfer from Minnesota, will set up a Virginia Tech punt.
Well, they show pressure from our left side here and actually end up swapping it and bringing the pressure to the field. A great creative job by Blake Seiler, the defensive coordinator, to show pressure and disguise it from one area, but to actually bring it from another.
How do you feel like their pressure packages have worked so far?
I think they've worked well. I mean, that's the thing as the opposition and the quarterback. And I got the sense after meeting with Old Dominion's defensive staff this week that they were going to be aggressive. They were going to blitz a lot and live and die by it.
This is a fair catch signal for sure. Page almost got undercut by his teammate. 37 on the Pete Moore punt. 3rd Monarch possession when we return to Norfolk.
Coon's not even in here. Oh yeah, there he is.
2 great matchups highlight college football's week 1 Saturday. Number 11 Oregon and the defending champion Georgia Bulldogs. 3:30 Eastern tomorrow in the annual Chick-fil-A kickoff game from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. And then 7:30 Eastern, Marcus Freeman's first game as Notre Dame head coach. Have fun, you're going to the Horseshoe against 2nd-ranked Ohio State. ABC and streaming live on the ESPN app. I suspect you may have a thought or 2 on your alma mater, the defending national champions.
Just a couple.
Okay, what you got? They going to run it back?
You gonna put me on the spot right now?
Right now. 6:07, first quarter, game 1. Keyshawn Wicks takes it for a yard. What do you think of this Georgia team this year? Where could they be better? Where might they suffer?
Yeah, still a really talented team. I mean, you look at the way Kirby Smart has recruited. They've got dudes. But they did have 15 guys get drafted, 5 guys in the first round, and predominantly a lot of them on the offensive side of the ball. So I think they'll take a step back a little bit defensively, but even if they give up 7 or 10 more points a game, last year they gave up only 10 points per game. So 17 points per game still isn't that bad.
2nd down, Hayden Wolf steps away from pressure. They're looking for Wolf to run a little bit more this year, and he does so well there. Right near the first down, he picked up 8.
Yeah, and Old Dominion needed that offensively. The 2 drives before that, 3 plays and 7 yards on both drives. I mean, you can see here, this time, Brent Pry decides to play coverage, and man, right guard for Old Dominion there might have gotten away with a hold and a yank on Mario Kendricks.
Leroy Thomas, a right guard, for an offensive line that returns 4 starters. The new center is Xavier Black, a walk-on. Wicks is the running back on 3rd and a yard. The give is to Wicks, cutting it back, cutting it again, and Keyshawn Wicks with a nice first impression. The redshirt sophomore for 6, and the first down for ODU.
Well, when it's been 3rd and short, Old Dominion has tried to run the ball up the middle, and you can see accounted for in every gap for Virginia Tech defensively. Ball gets bounced outside. Dax Holyfield right there to make the tackle. It's press, press, press. Ball gets outside, and it's a nice cutback by Wicks for a first down.
Wicks will receive this pass. Got a good block on the outside. Broke a tackle. Breaks another one, but a flag is thrown for the secondary. And this electric Monarch sideline might have to cool it for a moment. It's a gain of 16. It does not look likely to stand.
So many times when the ball gets bounced to the perimeter like this with a receiver or a running back, it's a wide receiver that gets called for holding.
Holding. Offense number 18. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Javon Harvey, a wide receiver, expected to be a full-time starter for the first time.
See just a simple running back screen out to the perimeter, and Javon Harvey right there to the top of your screen. I don't know.
Well, the crowd didn't either. So it'll be 1st and 6 with a holding penalty factored in. Old Dominion from its own 40. The back here is Tariq Sims, another running back toss. And Holyfield smothers him after a gain of a couple of yards. Dax Holyfield, leading tackler for the Hokies a season ago, a 2-time captain, has been very active in this first quarter.
We talked about Tyler Bowen, offense coordinator for Virginia Tech. This being the first time in his career he's calling plays, but it's also the first time calling plays for Old Dominion's offensive coordinator, Kevin Reiner, which, by the way, halfway through training camp, he was expecting to be the tight ends coach, and Dave Patnoy, their offensive coordinator, abruptly left. So he's been thrust in this position rather quickly.
Here comes pressure. Wolf saw it. Incomplete pass. Keontae Jenkins had the pressure off the edge. A little bit of tumult at the end of the Old Dominion offseason. Patnoy, a veteran offensive coordinator, resigned on August 12th. That's just 3 weeks ago. So for Ricky Ronnie, it's a new offensive coordinator on the fly. The good news is Kevin Reiner did call plays in the bowl game last year. At 30 years old, he is one of the bright young offensive minds in the sport, Ricky Ronnie thinks. Ricky's a pretty good offensive mind to lean on as well. A 4-man rush on 3rd and 4. Wolf throws it to nobody, and there is a flag. There was contact right in the middle of the field. Isaiah Page was looking for a penalty marker, and he got it.
Well, the question is did he slip, or was it actually pass interference?
Pass interference. Defense number 1. 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Jamari Connor on the coverage. And Isaiah Page running a deep out route from the slot. He's to your left right here. You're going to see it kind of in your camera screen right there to the top of your left as he tries to come out of the break. And whether your feet get tangled up or not, a back judge looking at that is going to throw that pass interference flag every single time. And a big break after the missed opportunity on the explosive play to Keyshawn Wicks.
Already 3 penalties for the Hokies. Nothing here for Wicks on first down. Nasir Peoples on the stop as the clock ticks under 3 in this first quarter.
Yeah, and no targets so far for Ollie Jennings or Zach Kuntz. Zach Kuntz, big 6'8" tight end, 73 receptions last year, which was second among tight ends in college football. I know Kevin Reiner is thinking about a way to get him the ball before this first quarter ends. He's attached to your screen. He's attached to the top of your screen here.
He was trying to make himself as small as possible. He'll be a blocker here. Wolf steps up and throws it incomplete. Looked like Jennings was the target there.
Well, we saw Hayden Wolf decide to run on the drive previously when there was nobody open, and watch this here. I mean, if he decides to step up and run here to the right, basically use himself as a check down here to the right, he's going to at least pick up 5 yards, if not more. He decides to kind of force one back across the field instead.
Quick throw on 3rd and 10. That's incomplete. In and out of the hands of Jordan Bly. Old Dominion is in Virginia Tech territory here. 4th and 10 at the Hokie 43. And it looks like they will send out the punt team.
Virginia Tech defensively is not sitting back on 3rd down. I mean, Brent Pry, who's calling the plays for this Hokies defense, told us this week he wants to be aggressive. He wants the DNA of this Virginia Tech defense to be known as being aggressive, being strong, and being intense. And when it comes to 3rd and medium and 3rd and long, he is bringing heat, and he is speeding the mind up of Hayden Wolf, and it is working so far.
William Kakavitsas is back. And Kakavitsas is going to get out of the way of this one. Oh, no, he grabbed it late. Would you look at that? Surprise, surprise. So you were mentioning aggressive Virginia Tech defense. That is part of Virginia Tech's history. It's been part of the fabric of this program for a long time. And this year the Hokies brought back an old tradition. The lunch pail. Ah, yes. That Bud Foster lunch pail defense. Bud Foster, the longtime defensive coordinator at Tech, the lunch pail for years carried out by a player before the game, symbolizes the blue-collar work ethic, the toughness, the relentlessness of Virginia Tech football. It might just be a little symbol, but to these players, to these coaches, it means everything. And Brent Pry told us he knew when he got the job, one of the first things he would do would be to bring back the lunch pail, which is symbolic of the type of defense he feels like his team's played at Penn State and that he wants to bring back to Blacksburg.
It's one of the more iconic things in college football, the lunch pail. When you think about the lunch pail defense of Virginia Tech football, you think about the mentality and the fabric of Virginia Tech football. And the lunch pail not only means a lot to the football program, it means a lot to the community. And you talk to people in and around Blacksburg and around the football program, the first thing they bring up is, oh, the lunch pail's back. The lunch pail mentality's back. I mean, it is absolutely in the DNA and the fabric of the community and the university.
Hopefully it's been cleaned in the last 5 years. Here's a cut for Keyshawn King. And King is tripped up by Robert Kennedy. The lunch pail was introduced as a concept in Blacksburg in 1995. Brent Pry was a grad assistant at Virginia Tech that year. He was inspired by Bud Foster, the way he coached, the way he taught, the way he led young men. He continues to lean on Bud Foster. The two talk a couple of times a week. He said sometimes it's about how to attack a bunch. Sometimes it's about the Allman Brothers.
Well, speaking of bunch here, you got a bunch set to your right. Condensed formation. Let's see how Old Dominion decides to cover it.
There's some late pressure. It's picked up nicely by the running back King. Wells loves it. Intercepted. He overthrew it right into the breadbasket of Terry Jones.
Just the play that this Old Dominion defense needed to get this crowd back into it. They've been struggling to get the ball on their side of the 50, and now they'll have it. But it all starts with the pressure. Pressure straight up the middle again. It's been the common theme in the first quarter for defensive coordinator Blake Seiler. And watch the timing of this blitz straight up the middle here. And just a little bit too much air thrown on the ball by Grant Wells leads to an interception.
What was the one thing you said Grant Wells needs to improve this year?
Interceptions, 22 of them in 2 years at Marshall. Big time arm, big time potential, but the one knock on him has been interceptions and decision making.
And the Baltimore kid, Terry Jones, who's really grown into a leader, picks up the INT, his first. Pressure came from Stephen Williams, and it is Old Dominion ball in Virginia Tech territory. A run for Watson on first down, and Blake Watson bursts through the left side for 8 yards.
And there comes that first kind of big play in the run game, the inside zone. Every offensive line just kind of stepping to the left and taking a guy in their gap. And the inside zone is really a play that Blake Watson thrives in because of his vision and his patience.
Second down, right back to him. To the outside right this time. First down, Watson. 5 yards down to the Hokie 23. Jamari Connor in on the stop.
I'll tell you what you got to love if you're Blake Watson is just the total commitment and buy-in from your receivers to be blocking down the field when the ball is run. Most receivers will take the play off when it's a run play. At Old Dominion, these coaches challenge them to read force on the safety, dig out the safety, block the alley, and that right there was a great example of it.
I'd ask about your receivers that took plays off, but oh, look, we're going to break, so just have to tell me off.
It's convenient.
It's 7-0 Virginia Tech. Old Dominion is driving. A back-and-forth first quarter as college football returns to the Commonwealth. The Hokies struck first on the touchdown run from Wells, but off the Jones interception, the Monarchs are driving as we get set for quarter number 2. Might not be a better receiver tight end combination in the Sun Belt than Ollie Jennings and Zach Kuntz, but they have a combined 1 target in the first quarter. You'd expect them to be a part of the game plan here. Old Dominion knocking on the red zone's door. And that pass nearly skipped, and it is Jordan Bly who will actually lose a little bit. Lost a couple yards. 1 target for Jennings, no targets for Zach Kuntz. It's a little hard to imagine when you look at Zach Kuntz, who is 6'8" and 260 pounds.
Yeah, that has to change. 1 target combined between 2 guys who are as talented pass catchers as you're going to find not only in the conference but in the country. You got to find ways to get them touches.
No touch for either here. It's a run for Watson. Inside the 15, he sneaks past the line to gain. Needed a dozen. Got a Bakers for a first down.
He's such a hard runner, Blake Watson is. Nice block across the line of the scrimmage there by Kuntz. And you get a hat on that left side of that Old Dominion offensive line. And you get a fresh set of downs inside the red zone.
Back to Watson. Traffic in the backfield. No Lala Davis, their number 2 rusher from a season ago, suspended indefinitely, the school announced. So Watson, 215 carries last year. This is a player who used to be more of a jet sweep wide receiver type guy in 2019. He's really worked hard to become a between the tackles runner at only 5'9". Out of the game right now, Obi Sadi, the freshman, is in for his first action. And Sadi will take it inside the 10, down inside the 5. That's a nice inaugural impression. Jaden McDonald rides down Sadi. It's a player that Kevin Reeder mentioned we might see.
Yeah, watch center, left guard, left tackle for Old Dominion again. Controlling the line of scrimmage, and on this drive so far, they've been winning the one-on-one matchups with the front side, or the front 7 of this Virginia Tech defense, but more specifically, the left side of that Virginia Tech defensive line.
Can get a first down here at the 2. Wolf will hand it right back off, and there is a bullet from Nasir Peoples right out of the secondary and right into the backfield for a loss.
Well, they play zone coverage 3 over 2, so you knew he wasn't going to throw it out to the right. He didn't have the numbers, and watch Peoples just time this up and boom, shoot the gap. I mean, these Virginia Tech linebackers have clearly watched a lot of tape. They've used analytics to know that at 3rd and short, that Old Dominion is very heavy run. And that's exactly what the Monarchs offense has done. 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, they've been, if not 100%, close to it running the ball.
So the first field goal try for Ethan Sanchez, replacing the 4-year starter Nick Rice from 24, and hold your horses.
Before the ball was snapped, play of game, kicking team, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
You know, and if I'm Ricky Ronnie, you know, a former play caller in himself at Penn State, and you know he's got to be thinking to himself, how do we get in the red zone and not at least get one type of target to Ollie Jennings or Zach Kuntz? I mean, Zach Kuntz is 6'8". Right? I've nicknamed him the Big Mattress. Right? That is something that when he gets inside the red zone, give me some motions, give me some shifts, give me some opportunities to get his body and his size one-on-one.
Haven't thrown it to him yet. This from 29. And Sanchez is still good. 24, 29, no big thing. Ethan Sanchez drills his first career field goal, and Old Dominion will not be shut out in 2022.
The greatest story ever played, the College Football Playoff on ESPN.
Story might get a little bit greater soon. Announcement today from the College Football Playoff Board of the expansion to a 12-team College Football Playoff by 2026. Were you happy to see that?
Yeah. Look, man, I think it's inevitable. I've always thought that more teams, more opportunity, more money was eventually coming, and it was only a matter of time.
Ball has fallen off the tee here for Dominic Seuss. It's been a wild offseason, certainly an offseason of change yet again. Old Dominion and a number of other teams coming to the Sun Belt. The big news in conference realignment, USC, UCLA will be heading to the Big Ten in a couple of years. And some folks wondered with the consolidation of the Big Ten and the SEC, would we get playoff expansion? And the answer today was a resounding yes. Keyshawn King near his own goal line. King with a good return. Out across 35, but there's a flag down at the 26-yard line. It was a good return. Wayne Winkler.
During the return, holding number 89 on the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Jake Dulius. So here's the playoff expansion overview from today. The Board of Managers agreed to expand the playoffs to 12 teams, at least in 2026, could be earlier. The model includes the 6 highest ranked conference champions and 6 at-large teams. So that doesn't mean only power champions. It will likely be mostly power champions anyway, but you can be a higher ranked conference champion from the American, or maybe even the Sun Belt, which is a much more powerful conference this year. First down for Grant Wells, and nothing doing here. Chance Black in the backfield. The College Football Playoff has done a lot of good things for the sport, certainly. We've had some memorable national championship games. I think we can be honest and say that the college football semis, for the most part, have been duds.
Yeah.
So will this change the way that the power is consolidated in the sport?
I don't think so. Look, history tells us that just because you expand doesn't mean you're going to get more competitive games. And so what I believe is you're still going to see the cream rise to the top. You're going to see the same 4 to 5 teams that you see every single year. Now, I think it'll be an entertaining product because you'll see more teams and more opportunity, but different results.
Wells, deep pass complete. Right to the sideline, Dawan Lofton. There's a long throw from Grant Wells for a first down to 15. There's a flag down, though, all the way in the backfield.
And it's too bad because a really crisp, really nice, smooth route from Lofton from the slot.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 9. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic first down.
Marcus Haynes, the defensive end, so 15 on the play and 15 on the penalty.
Yeah, I said too bad, but it's going to stand. And just after that first down play, I was thinking to myself how both coordinators really, but Tyler Bowen needs to kind of break up the monotony of first down runs. It's become a little bit predictable on running the ball on first down for both teams. And just as I go to say that, he decides to push the ball down the field a little vertically for a big first down.
Tight to the formation here with Jalen Holst in the back. A fake to him. A deep shot again for Wells. All kinds of space for Stephen Gosnell. The North Carolina transfers. First catch in Hokie colors is good for a long one. Well into Old Dominion territory.
And another opportunity to push it over the field. The play action pass. The fake gets those linebackers to suck up. And the condensed formation from Gosnell for a big play.
They're really using some tempo right now as well. Good first down carry for Holston after the catch of 24.
It's really a great job of using the run to set up the pass. The run on first down, and then using the play action. What that does to those linebackers, it puts them in such conflict. You're thinking run early in the downs, and then a play action pass right behind their ears.
Play action again for Wells. That is intercepted. before it hit the ground. Tobias Harris took it away. How about the hands from the Division II All-American, a transfer from West Texas A&M, who ripped it right out of the breadbasket of Lofton.
And the second interception of the night for Grant Wells, and he's trying to throw an out route here into a press corner. That's a no-no. You cannot throw an out route into a corner that is pressed. You throw an out route when a corner is soft, and that's another decision that Brent Pry and Tyler Bowen are going to have to talk through and talk with about Grant Wells, about what did you see? It's been about the turnovers for Grant Wells. He put up big numbers at Marshall, threw for over 5,000 yards, broke a lot of the passing records at Marshall, and we highlighted it in the beginning, a true gunslinger. When you get a great gunslinger, you get the highs, but you also get the lows with it.
Wolf will throw it after the pick. There's a lot of contact there. That's got to be a penalty. And Nike Hawkins, who's wearing the 25 for Frank Beamer today, looks like he'll be on the wrong end of this. The first target for Zach Kuntz.
Defense, number 25. Automatic first down at the spot on the 5.
Kuntz right here going to be lined up to the bottom of your screen. He's just going to run a corner route from the slot. He gets one-on-one with Hawkins. And this is as easy of a pass interference call as that back judge will have all season.
Nice attempt at catching it there by Kuntz anyway, considering one hand was being ripped from his body. That is well short for Bly. So Hayden Wolf making his 10th career start, his first in his season opener. Took over midway through the season last year for DJ Mack, on 5-2 as a starter. Added a lot of muscle this year. Thought is they might lean on him a little bit more after a season where they were primarily run heavy. Gonna hand it off here, Watson. Kuntz is a blocker. Watson a pinball. And a good chunky yardage, got 6, set up 3rd and 4. Mario Kendricks took him down.
So many times with these runs that should be 2-yard gains or 3-yard gains, they turn into 7 or 8-yard gains. It's not because Virginia Tech doesn't have a defender to account. I mean, right there, 2 missed tackles in the gap, and it's just missed tackles. I thought it was interesting. Brent Pry talked to us this week about how kids, when they get to college anymore, they don't come to campus great tacklers.
Wolf, all kinds of time, and incomplete. Looking for Kuntz again, and this time the coverage came from Jalen Stroman, the sophomore safety out of Oaksville.
Well, Virginia Tech defense here does a great job. It's man coverage, and ODU's running a ton of rub routes and pick routes, and watch them trade all this off. Look at that tight glove coverage by every single player in the secondary for this Hokies defense. You get 3rd and medium and you see a single high safety, you're expecting man coverage, and that's why you run those rubs and pick routes. You're hoping for a little bit of separation naturally on the route, but it's a great job of those guys in the secondary communicating it, passing off, getting through, but also deflecting the ball without getting a pass interference call.
Like we saw to start the drive. A low punt again. Dwayne will roll inside the 20. And a punt of 42. Hokie ball when we return as Virginia Tech works around the interception. Monday night Chick-fil-A kickoff from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. It is a conference game in week 1. Number 4 Clemson taking on Georgia Tech at 8 Eastern. The only game on the Labor Day schedule. It's on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. College football countdown kicks it off at 7 Eastern. Clemson ranked number 4 in the country. There's still some offensive questions with the Tigers. They are the favorites in the Atlantic Division. Miami the favorites in the Coastal, where everybody but Duke gets a first place vote. And the Hokies picked to finish 5th in the Coastal Division. That's your ACC overview. It's a good NC State team as well, which a lot of folks think could give Clemson some trouble in the Atlantic. A couple of new faces in the Atlantic Coast Conference this year. Brent Pry, one of them, the first-year head man at Virginia Tech. With his new face at quarterback, trying to find his footing. 2 picks for Grant Wells. Chance Black on first down. So new head coaches at Virginia Tech with Brent Pry. New head coach at Virginia. An interesting Hokie Cavalier battle this year. Tony Elliott comes from Clemson. Mike Elko from Texas A&M at Duke, and Mario Cristobal, a Miami legend, all the way across the country from Oregon. Which of these head coaches do you think is most well positioned to succeed long term?
I'd say Mario Cristobal long term, the resources, the commitment to football, and Brent Pry, Virginia Tech as well. They feel like they found their guy.
It's the tight end Gallo. Slippery, just shy of a first down.
The thing that sticks out too with that list there is you got guys going back to their roots. Mario Cristobal, a Miami guy. Brent Pry obviously started his career and his coaching career here in the mid-90s.
GA in 1995, who always wanted to come back to Blacksburg. Had other head coaching opportunities, but this was the one for him. Third down run play. Need a couple of yards, they get 3. It's the freshman Black again, redshirt freshman out of Roebuck, South Carolina, who did not have a carry in 4 games last year.
You can see Virginia Tech trying to use tempo.
Right back to Black. Chance Black, little stutter step across the 45. Now that was shifty by Black.
Yeah. Well, watch these 2 cuts from this young redshirt freshman. He sees it, that bounce cut right there, and then this whoop cut right there. I mean, I said it earlier in the game, these young running backs are going to get an opportunity because of some of the injuries to some of the upperclassmen like Holston and Malachi Thomas.
Malachi Thomas unavailable for Virginia Tech. Their leading returning rusher has got a left foot injury. We've barely seen Holston. It was a game time decision. Right now it's Keyshawn King, redshirt junior, out there. 2nd down and 10. Wells had to get rid of it quickly to King. And a nice job by Wells again to stand in the face of pressure. He's taken a couple of hits today and gotten the ball out quickly. Yeah,
that's the one thing about his game. He will stand in there. The pocket presence, the toughness here. He's got a free defender in his face. He probably was supposed to be picked up, but the reactionary skills of Grant Wells from the pocket are as good as they get.
Terry Jones had the hit. 3rd down run. Nowhere to go for King. He is chopped up by Terry Jones. And an interception earlier. In on the play with Chris Trinidad, and a loss on 3rd down.
I mean, Terry Jones is playing that nickel Sam spot. He runs all the way across the field to make a tackle for a loss here. I mean, he sees it, he reads it, and it's really the play, the assist should go to Alonzo Ford, number 5 for Old Dominion. He blows up the play, which essentially allows Terry Jones enough time to get in there and cause the tackle for loss.
Punt for Moore. Harris, who had the interception earlier, will reel in the fair catch of the 15. Old Dominion ball. It's been a defensive kind of night in Norfolk. Xfinity kickoff week, Labor Day weekend. We're just chock full of great college football all Saturday. Georgia and Oregon. Cincinnati, Arkansas is a really fun game. The Bearcats in the playoff last year. Utah and Florida, and then the Irish and the Buckeyes Saturday night. Florida State, LSU Sunday. Clemson, Georgia Tech Monday. Just goodness everywhere you look. And the big one Saturday night, Notre Dame, which will be led by Marcus Freeman for the first time after Brian Kelly departed to LSU. So you'll see Brian Kelly's old team Saturday night at 7:30. His new team Sunday night at 7:30. Hopefully Brian will continue to keep up the Cajun accent in the interviews. Hayden Wolf, that pass knocked down at the line. Marcus Freeman is a guy that exudes energy. If you meet him, you'll love him instantly. He has been so warmly received. The recruiting's been wonderful at Notre Dame. That might all go out the window very quickly when you go to the Horseshoe, and it's going to be an emotional day for him. Had a great career at Ohio State.
It is. I think this game comes down to what can Notre Dame do offensively. Everybody's been talking about Notre Dame's offensive line, but at the end of the day, I think you're going to have to go punch for punch and get into the 30s, maybe 40s to beat this Ohio State offense.
The pass flip to the tight end Dante Anthony for 2. C.J. Stroud is back, major Heisman contender. Ohio State lost a couple of players to the NFL. Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, no big deal. They still have oodles of skill position players with talent everywhere.
And remember, Ohio State defense was not good at all last year. They go out and hire Jeff Knowles from Oklahoma State, and so I personally think that a lot of the pressure resides on the defensive side of the ball in Columbus.
Coons, the tight end, is one of a couple of receivers left now in the slot on this 3rd and 8. Jennings is up there as well, still without a catch for the top 2 Monarch targets. Wolf will look that way. Wolf will go for Coons, who stumbled, and the throw was well short with Nasir Peoples all over him.
Well, it's clear as day from the snap of the ball that you're getting man coverage. Virginia Tech brings 5 in pressure, which means you're getting man with a free high safety in the middle of the field, and Hayden Wolf just throws an inaccurate pass, kind of a corner route from the slot to his big tight end, Zach Kuntz. And you know, that's the one thing when you're throwing to a big body receiver, tight end, pass catcher in general, you got to give him a chance. He's just too big, got too big of a catch radius for you not to throw it somewhere in the vicinity.
Dwayne with the deeper punt this time. DJ Harvey driven back to his 32. Harvey will be knocked down right around his 32. Good coverage by Old Dominion on the punt of 51 yards.
It's amazing how both of these coordinators defensively and the flow of the game feels so similar right now, as both coordinators really not sitting back and being aggressive.
It's our week 1 featured college football lineup. Saturday, Sunday, ABC and the ESPN app. We mentioned the Saturday night game in the shoe. Oregon and defending champion Georgia before that. Do the Ducks have what it takes to pull off a major upset? And then Brian Kelly's LSU debut in the All-State Louisiana kickoff against Florida State. Sunday night, 7:30 Eastern. All games on ABC. Streaming on the ESPN app. Keyshawn King bounces out of a whole bunch of Monarchs. And King, who looked like he would have nothing, ends up with 14 and a first down.
It should be a tackle for loss. Old Dominion brings outside linebacker and the safety off of a blitz here, and they've got him stunned. Look, 2 Old Dominion defenders there with an opportunity to wrap up Keyshawn King. And how many times tonight have we seen him break tackles when it looks like it should be a 1-yard gain? It turns into a big play.
Right back on the ground to King. Old Dominion for the first half has been without Ryan Henry, their 3rd leading tackler a season ago. Henry is out in the first half because of a targeting penalty he incurred in the second half of the Myrtle Beach Bowl way back in December, so they're a little bit thinner there for now. We've seen more of Stephen Williams. This is the injured player Devin Brandt Epps for ODU.
And we've seen a lot of missed tackles tonight on both sides of the ball. We got into an interesting conversation with Brent Pry about tackling and how players come from high school really unprepared, more so than ever now. They're just not tackling as much anymore.
We'll take a timeout for the injured player. 2nd down for the Hokies when we return. You know, the lunch pail is not the only celebrated return in Blacksburg. Bill Roth, the voice of the Hokies for 27 years, 1988 to 2015. Left Virginia Tech for a season, went to UCLA, knew his heart was in Blacksburg. He came back to Blacksburg, started working at the university, established a sports media and analytics program there, and Bill proved that you can go home again. He returns this season for his 28th year as Virginia Tech play-by-play announcer. Also does some games for us here at ESPN. Here's a big run for Keyshawn King, and Bill's going to have an electric call on this one. We can promise you that. Inside the 20, a first down Tech.
And it's King again, left side of this offensive line, gets a hat on a hat. We're going to watch the left guard, Jesse Hansen here, 72, center Johnny Jordan. And he just bounces off of guys. He's physical, he's tough, but it's the yards after the contact that Tyler Bowen told us that is most impressive with the redshirt junior.
And R.T. Johnson is down for Old Dominion after that big run for King. I do just want to say quickly while we're talking about Bill, number one of the great people in college football, one of the iconic voices. Sometimes when you stick around a place a while, you get called an icon because of longevity. Bill is a great broadcaster, period, and people at ESPN know that, and also one of the kindest, most supporting people to young broadcasters around. So it's so good to have Bill back where he belongs in the Virginia Tech booth, and appropriately enough, right on the blue waters of the Chesapeake for his return.
Doesn't the Pry era have a little bit of a feel like the Beamer era? All these guys back, J.C. Price back, Bud Foster back involved a little bit. Bill Roth is back.
As Bill said, we're playing the hits. It's like REO Speedwagon back on tour. Under 3 to play. Here's Holston for a gain of 5 yards.
I'm sure Virginia Tech fans will absolutely take that. Anything that's reminiscent of the greatest coach in program history and college Hall of Famer and Coach Beamer. Well, the thing that I think about with Coach Beamer in the glory days is just recruiting and owning this area, right? And the amount of great players that came from, Hampton Roads and Virginia Beach. And I think that's what Brent Pry knows. He has got to get back to those in-state recruits and keeping them in-state.
Not much here for Holston. If you look at the Virginia recruiting rankings right now, 4 of the top 7 commits in the class of 2023 out of Virginia are committed to Penn State, in part because of what Brent Pry did in his previous job. He and Ricky, Ronnie, and James Franklin really dominated Virginia Tech in recruiting in the state.
They wiped the floor. A lot of these kids were going to Penn State. Some of them were going to North Carolina. Very few were staying in state. The good news is that Brent Pry has a lot of those pre-existing relationship with those recruits from the Penn State.
They're down at 5. Wells gets rid of it. It is caught inside the 5. First down, Tech. There is a flag in the secondary. Dawan Lofton will set up first and goal pending penalty.
Pass interference. Offense, number 18. 15-yard penalty. Replay third down.
That is the walk-on William Kakavitsis, dealing a major blow to Tech's touchdown hopes.
It was a great throw. It looked like a great route. Here he is to the right on the outside of this bunch, and you can't see it from that angle. They called it on 18, who's at the top of the screen in the bunch, and they're going to get him for offensive pass interference for blocking, essentially, is what they're saying.
You're not certain.
You're definitely not blocking on a play like that. But I don't know why he's making contact with the DB.
Didn't exactly sell it. So instead of first and goal inside the 5, it's 3rd and 15. A long way to go for Wells. He'll look to go a long way. Just check it down short instead. The feet were initially in bounds for Gosnell with a gain of 7. And it'll be field goal time for Will Ross.
It's almost like, going back to that pass interference on Kakavita, it's almost like he thought it was a different play, like a screen or something. Because he's downfield looking like he's blocking. So I'm not for sure what happened there, the miscommunication, if he thought it was another play. But if you're Old Dominion, you're wiping your eyebrow because it should have been first and goal inside the 5.
Be a field goal try instead for Ross. Transfer from Coastal Carolina, who has not played in 3 years. From 38, the snap gets away. Oh, boy, this is a whole mess. Old Dominion's going to pick it up. It's going to be a scoop and score. Touchdown, Monarchs. Robert Kennedy, the safety, all the way down the field, and Old Dominion has surged into the lead as Virginia Tech makes a mess of the field goal try. The largest crowd in SB Ballard Stadium in Old Dominion football history has unleashed its loudest roar yet. Old Dominion in front for the first time.
Well, it's the bobbled snap, it's the bad snap, it's maybe a combination of both, but it's exactly what Old Dominion needed to get this crowd off of its feet. An interception led to 3 points earlier in the game for Old Dominion, and now a touchdown on a scoop and score on a bad snap. A high snap. And if you're try to get on it as best as you can there. If you're 85 for Virginia Tech, he misses it, and it's a house call for Old Dominion.
Justin Pollock is the long snapper for Virginia Tech. Typically, you do not want your name to be mentioned if you're the long snapper. 29 yards officially on the return, the third turnover for Old Dominion, which fell behind early on a clinical second drive from Grant Wells. But the Monarchs have held up since, and they get a gift that they convert into 7. Wow.
There's 22,000 people in this stadium. Half of them are on their feet now.
There's still a lot of maroon in the crowd, but the light blue, the Hudson blue as they call it, of Old Dominion has lit up the sky. Bryce Duke has the return. We've talked a few times about Virginia Tech trying to throw this thing back a little bit to the Frank Beamer era. Maybe the staple tee of Frank Beamer football to Virginia Tech, good special teams.
Beamer ball. What do you think of when you think Beamer ball? You immediately go to special teams, and 3 turnovers already tonight for Virginia Tech is going to drive Brent Pry absolutely nuts. We talked about what's the thing that you're most kind of concerned and worried about in your first game. He's like, you know, I'm just worried about penalties, clean football, and execution, and certainly didn't get it on that long field goal.
Last season, Virginia Tech committed 12 turnovers in 13 games, tied for 13th fewest in the country. 3.5 tonight. Wells out of an empty backfield will run it. Wells is hit and wrapped up. Maury Morrison of Virginia Beach sophomore with a stop.
If you're Wells here, you just got to be smart. You've already thrown 2 interceptions tonight. You've got 3 timeouts. Good decision there to use his legs as a check down. Get up in the pocket. You know, what you can't do here is give Old Dominion another opportunity to a short field.
Chaz Wallace is the injured Monarch for a stoppage with 1:05 to go.
And this is an area too, and we haven't spent a lot of time yet talking about the receiving room for Virginia Tech, but they lost a good bit of production last year. And their leading receiver coming back this year is Caleb Smith, who only had 20 catches for 260 yards last year. And so there's kind of a question mark at the receiver room for Virginia Tech. And here's a position with about a minute and some change left in a predictable passing situation, with an opportunity for one of these 3 guys to step up and make some big time catches.
Smith is not in the game right now either. Haven't called the name of Jaden Blue, the Temple transfer, yet. A record setter 3 years ago. He's wide to the left. Wells was looking his way, hit as he throws, and was nearly intercepted again. The pressure came from Haynes. The ball slipped through the midst of Jason Henderson.
Well, Haynes comes from the blind side of Grant Wells. Grant kind of, you can see him, he feels it. He's trying to get outside the pocket a little bit. And as he goes to throw it, his arm gets hit. And he's very fortunate that this wasn't another interception.
Nearly a big play by Henderson in Norfolk, which some folks have seen in the last couple of months.
All start. Offense, number 7. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Parker Clements, the right tackle, and Virginia Tech did 2 things really well a season ago in a tough year. Number 1, they didn't commit penalties, 5 per game. They've committed 6 tonight. Number 2, they didn't turn it over. 12 in 13 games. They've turned it over 3 times tonight. 3rd and 12. Wells looking to go short. He'll go short to the left. First touch for Blue. Blue is gobbled up. Old Dominion is all over him. Jason Henderson with a loss of 3. And the Monarchs take a timeout. They're on the front foot now.
Well, Virginia Tech had an opportunity with 1:05 left and 3 timeouts, and then you get a false start penalty that puts you in a long, predictable passing situation. And in a 2-minute drive, when these defensive ends in college football know that you're going to throw it, they're going to tee off on your right tackles. It's hard on these right tackles to pass set for a long amount of time when these defensive ends are peeling their ears back and they're coming after your quarterback. And I think the right decision there by Ricky Ronnie as well, with the momentum on your side, to burn a timeout. You had 3 of them. Virginia Tech's going to be backed up. Depending on how well this kick is, Old Dominion could have some pretty good field position.
Pete Moore will stand at his own 5. Isaiah Page standing at his 35. High snap again. Good job by Moore to reel this one in. It's a punt of 48 yards and a fair catch for Page. So 35 seconds and 2 timeouts. How aggressive are you here if you're Old Dominion?
I am aggressive. I've talked about, I think at times, first down, they've been a little too conservative, a little bit too predictable with running the football. The lack of targets to Ali Jennings and Zach Kuntz tonight. This is a great time, a great opportunity. Let's use some motions, you use some shifts, try to design a one-on-one situation to one of these guys, and you've got Kuntz right there, number 80, attached to the bottom of your screen, and it looks like he's going to be covered by Amari Chapman.
He motions out. Jennings is wide to the left. Wolf looking for Kuntz. He is covered up, but somebody is not, and that somebody is Ali Jennings finally, but he lost the ball late, and Virginia Tech's Dax Hollifield was in there. He has the takeaway for the Hokies. Hollifield turns the tide, the 2-time captain, with a Tech turnover. Old Dominion's lingering on the field, wondering, was he down? I think that ball was coming out.
You're looking for his knee or his forearm and where it is simultaneously. And is the ball moving before the knee or the forearm hits the ground? Hard to tell from that angle.
It is close, and it is going to be reviewed.
Rolling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. The previous play is under video review.
A replay official is Tim Fetch, and we'll see if Old Dominion can make a reversal from Fetch happen.
And remember, there has to be enough evidence to overturn the call on the field. We saw this last night in the Pittsburgh, West Virginia game a couple times, and I think the refs got it absolutely right. The call on the field is a fumble. And that's an important part of this process, because if there's not enough evidence, if there's any gray area, more than likely the call is going to stand. His hand hits the ground first, but because the ball is on the other side and his left arm on the other side of his body, it's hard to tell if it's in the process of coming out. You know, if his forearm hits there, I think this call would be overturned. But his hand hits.
After video review, the ruling on the field stands.
Did not have indisputable video evidence to overturn it. I know you all at home were waiting to hear the words indisputable video evidence again.
Well, and that's what I said. I think they got it right there. There wasn't enough evidence to overturn that, and that's why the call on the field is so important. And after a big play that was about to cross the 50, how about that from the senior Dax Holyfield. I mean, a guy that has played a lot of snaps as a captain and a leader of this team, shows up in a big way.
That was a lunch pail play. Hokie ball, Wells down the field, way overthrown. Caleb Smith was the target, but he wasn't close, and he was double covered. Wells is 3 for 5 on deep balls here in the first half. Hit the big one for 40 to Smith on the touchdown drive. Does have an interception on a deep ball as well.
Now Marshall, he was a great deep ball thrower. Second in the country, only behind Desmond Ritter last year at Cincinnati in deep ball throws. He was 10 of 20 on throws 40 yards or more.
Only 3 on the line for Old Dominion. And the Monarchs really only rushed 2. There's a whole lot of blue in coverage, and Wells had nowhere to go, and his pass knocked down. Marcus Haynes got his paws to it.
Old Dominion defense there, just trying to almost play drop 8, really drop 9. Watch this, they show a 3-man front, but they only rush 2, and they spy Grant Wells with the defensive tackle. And what they're doing is they're trying to play basically a prevent umbrella coverage to keep Virginia Tech out of field goal range.
Hokies do have all 3 timeouts. A rush of 3. Wells steps up. Wells going to get a chunk of yards here. Out of bounds around the 35, right at the 35. So 5 seconds to go, and they can set up Will Ross here for about a 52-yard field goal try. But do you want to do that after the mess on the last field goal?
I promise you that is what is going through Brent Pry's head. And you know, these are the decisions when you become the head coach that you have to make that you don't have to make when you're the defensive coordinator.
We asked him what was different, and he said, well, for years it was 45 players and a staff of 10. Now it's 123 players and a staff of 50. And if you're Brent Pry here, how much faith do you show in your long snapper, Justin Pollock, and in your special teams unit?
Well, it wasn't just one high snap. The high snap that led to the touchdown, but remember the punt on the previous drive was a high snap. You know, you wonder here if they're thinking about with 5 seconds, do they have time for one more play to rip it out there? If you've got a soft corner, stand up and rip it to the boundary, because it's the ball's in the air for less time if you throw it to the boundary as opposed to the field. And can you get out of bounds with 1 second remaining?
Top of the screen, maybe.
If I'm Old Dominion, I show press, but then I bail.
They're going to go for it all. Wells has to be to the end zone. It is in the end zone. It is up for grabs. It is incomplete. That was a little bit too close for comfort there for Old Dominion. Blue is the target, but it is a Monarch lead. Not the most aesthetically pleasing first half necessarily. Who cares if you're wearing light blue? In the 4th meeting between these 2 Virginia schools, it is Old Dominion 10 and Virginia Tech 7. After the break, the latest news in college football, including the new CFP format. Matt Barry, Joey Galloway, Jesse Palmer coming up on our halftime report. Hokies and Monarchs in a good one. Old Dominion in front on the Scoop and Score.
Your friends are still
perfect. Virginia, and Old Dominion is on top 10-7 over Virginia Tech after 30 very interesting minutes of play. Back with you from Norfolk, Kevin Brown, former Georgia quarterback Hudson Mason. Brent Pry's first game at Virginia Tech, a decorated career as an assistant coach. So you want to be a head coach.
Yeah.
Old Dominion has 97 yards of offense. Zach Kuntz doesn't have a catch. Ollie Jennings lost a fumble on his, and yet Monarchs are beating Brent Pry's Hokies.
Yeah, both offenses have struggled to just get in rhythm. It was a bit sleepy there in the first half, right before the end of the half, and so I think it'll be interesting to see what adjustments are made. You've got play callers for both teams that are calling plays for the first time in their career.
10-7 is your Old Dominion lead, and Virginia Tech, with only the 7 points, actually struck very quickly in this game. The Hokies scored on their second drive, so it didn't seem like they'd be stuck at 7 for long.
It was good and bad. It started good for Virginia Tech. Wells distributing the ball nicely on the first drive. Here's a third down completion. It was a mixture of standing in the pocket here, getting hit, but delivering a strike down the field. And then they got his legs involved for a long touchdown run of 20-plus yards. That was the good. But the bad was the turnovers. Miscommunication here between Wells and his receiver on what type of route should be run. And then the second interception, throwing an out route into a hard, the fingerprints of that in this game tonight. Third down, very aggressive. Offensively, I still think it's kind of TBD to be determined as they try to figure out, who are their go-to guys out wide? Who's the type of guys? Is it Caleb Smith? Is it Jaden Blue, the transfer from Temple? They need to really kind of find who that guy is that can keep defenses in too high coverage.
There is the Virginia Tech booth. There's Bill Roth, who I think is texting me at the same time I'm texting him to tell him what's going on. There's nobody there. The Virginia Tech coaches are stuck in the elevator.
I have never heard of such a thing.
Have you been stuck in an elevator before?
I have.
For how long?
Not as a coach in the middle of a game. I want to say 5 minutes.
Okay.
5 minutes too long.
That's not so bad. I think it's everybody's greatest fear, or up there with spiders and snakes, just being stuck in an elevator. This feels like a good time for a promo. What would you say? Is this a good time for a promo? Well, if you're stuck in an elevator, bring your phone. Tomorrow afternoon, Labor Day weekend, Xfinity kickoff week, ranked teams galore. Georgia and Oregon. Cincinnati trying to return to the college football playoff. Can they do so without Desmond Ridder? It's a heck of a start down against the Hogs at Arkansas. Notre Dame, Ohio State, Saturday prime. Sunday, Florida State, LSU. Monday, Clemson, Georgia Tech. We've kind of glossed over that third game, though. How about Utah, 7th ranked, maybe a playoff contender, top-ranked team in the Pac-12, going down to the Swamp. The first game for Billy Napier as the head coach of Florida. And here's a look at the full top 10 for the weekend.
Yeah, you and I had Billy Napier multiple times the past couple years at Louisiana Lafayette, twice last year. We know how talented of a coach he is. I think it's a matter of what type of roster is he inheriting. When Dan Mullen was fired, a lot of those guys entered the portal and transferred other places. So it would be a huge win if Florida. Are you able? Can we call that an upset? I mean, technically by rankings, it would be an upset.
If Florida beat Utah?
If Florida beat Utah, an upset. It's just weird to talk about Florida, the Florida, upsetting.
The line is Utah -2. So it'll be a minor upset, I suppose.
Upset.
Yeah. Alabama's playing Utah State. I don't think that will be an upset. I got the Crimson Tide in that one. Crimson Tide minus anything. Well, we're still waiting for this situation to be resolved. The moon is changing phases right now. It's gone from waxing to waning. We're going to get a full moon soon.
I guess the perk of being stuck in an elevator, if there is such a one, is you get longer time to make half-time adjustments. Talk about it.
That's true. Your game plan better be really good now. Nothing but time on your hands. So let's go over that route tree for a 5th time now. In all seriousness, I hope this is resolved soon. You hope that there are not too many folks stuck in the elevator. Oh, there is some movement in the booth next to us right now. It doesn't look like a coach. I think we should send you in there right now. You can be the quarterback's coach. Here we are. That's us right there. So let's take you through. By the way, it's Mike Tuberos, our stats guy. Andrew Afric, our spotters, in here. We're happy to bring you college football again. That's the Virginia Tech booth. Bill Roth, Mike Burnup, and to the left of them, nobody. Nobody's there. The Virginia Tech coaches are still stuck in an elevator, living it up while they're hopefully not going up or down. All right, this is the perfect time to bring in the real star of the show. This is Hudson, not you, not with a T. This is Hudson the dog, Hudson. This is the wholesome content America needed.
Are those Crocs he has on?
I think they are. Dog Crocs? Dog Crocs. I don't even have dog Crocs for my dog.
That is a beautiful puppy.
So Hudson is a part of Mutts with a Mission. He was given as a Father's Day gift to Ricky Ronnie by his wife Jen. He's not their dog though. He's a dog that has become part of the team, comes 2 to 3 times a week. I don't even need to talk over this. This is just the cutest thing ever. 15 out of 10 on We Rate Dogs. So the Ronnie family pays for Hudson's shots, training, food. He lives with a trainer. He's going to become a service dog, and usually for a veteran, a former service member at around age 2. But he has become a big part of this team. The team voted on the name, and Hudson is the name of the light blue color on the Old Dominion uniforms, which is named for a former sports information director of theirs. Now there's the split.
Hudson and Hudson.
Hudson and Hudson.
Hudson with a T, Hudson with a D. But guess what? I think I would choose Hudson the dog over Hudson the person.
Are you also wearing Crocs?
I got.
What do you got there?
These are not Crocs. What are these things? Which way do you do this? There we go.
I don't know.
That is awesome.
This is the split screen America needs right here.
I mean, Hudson the pup wins 10 out of 10 times.
We were told that Hudson has joined the team in the ice baths as well. He's a trooper. We're going to take a break. Let's hope this situation gets unstuck soon. Hi, Bill. Welcome back to Norfolk, Virginia. Kevin Brown, Hudson Mason, Hudson the dog, and no coaches in the Virginia Tech coaches box. Brent Pry and Ricky Ronnie are finally going to make their acquaintance here. We're in a delay because some of the Virginia Tech coaches, we've been told, are stuck in the elevator and have not been able to make it out of the elevator into the coaches box. There is the empty coaches box. I don't know where that graphic was on our graphics operators list. Number 17,000 behind game delayed due to Hudson the dog running on the field. So for the players right now, this is a long delay after halftime, which is probably a fiery, emotional halftime, first game of the year. You're juiced up, the lights are going out, you're back out for the second half, and then you're sitting around. What do you do as a player right now?
It's a great question. You try to stay active as much as you can. Quarterbacks keep your arm loose. I think the worst thing you can do is sit down. You know, at my senior year, we had a huge delay playing at South Carolina, hour-and-a-half delay. Multiple times we came out on the field, went back to the locker room. So it's challenging. When it gets to a point for so long, you start thinking about nutrition and eating and stuff like that.
Well, we just saw the coaches start to come back, so that's good news. A couple have arrived. What did you do during the delay?
Had a lot of snacks, a lot of stretching, played some cards.
What'd you play?
A little blackjack. The equipment manager had a deck of cards.
Yeah.
I mean, look, after an hour, there's only so many things you can talk about, X's and O's. You know, it's like you can only run a post so many different ways and talk about it. So, couple intense thumb wrestling contests, couple intense games of X's and O's.
Did you hit on 16? You're 90 minutes in. You're like, the heck with it. I'm just gonna double down on everything. I'm splitting threes. All righty. Our long national nightmare is over. It's kind of fun. I'm just happy everybody's safe and out of the elevator. Back to football we go. Who knows what's going to happen now? A 15-minute, 20-second elevator delay. Is there any other sport like this? Come on. James from his own end zone. Ladarian James on the return, and he is wrapped up shy of the 20. So I guess Virginia Tech used the time to digraph some brilliant kickoff coverage. Old Dominion will have the ball to start the second half. Hayden Wolf has had a quiet first half for ODU. First career opening game start, the 10th start of his career, just 6 for 14 for 37 yards. Grant Wells had a rushing touchdown early, but a couple of interceptions as well for a quarterback who was looking to cut down on that number this year.
I think at times Old Dominion has been a bit too conservative. They've really got to find a way to stretch the ball vertically when these safeties start to creep down.
Look to throw it here. Wolf is pressured, got away from it to the sideline. That pass is incomplete. Watson was the target.
You know, Ricky Ronnie told us this week that they went on a 5-game winning streak to get the bowl eligibility. And really where this offense took off during that 5-game winning streak was when Hayden Wolf started to excel at the RPO stuff, the run-pass option, giving him options to count the box and count the high safeties and throw it or run it based on that box count. And we haven't seen a lot of that this first half.
Immediate pressure. Wolf dumps it out. It's the running back Watson, who again does well after the initial contact to gain 5 yards with Jalen Griffin all on him.
Another 3rd down after the injury.
An injured player on the offensive line of Old Dominion. That's Tyron Hunt, the left guard, who started 12 of 13 games a season ago. So an offensive lineman that had the same starting 5-8 of the final 9 games last year. He really solidified it after a shaky beginning. And Tyron Hunt is heading, it appears, straight off the field. So Gary Hoover, senior from Neptune, New Jersey, is going to replace him at left guard.
Old Dominion 1 for 7 on 3rd down in the first half, and 3rd and 5 they've run mesh routes and man coverage, and there is no safety into the middle of the field here.
See how Hoover holds up here in pass protection. The new left guard. Offensive line was overrun there. The pass is completed but short. It is finally a completion to Zach Kuntz. And it's going to be shy of a first down.
Yeah, the problem here is it's 3rd and 5, and Kuntz runs a drag route 2 yards short of the sticks. You have to understand where what the necessary depth is to get a first down, and he should push up another step and then come across the field, which would allow him to, when he catches it, at least when he catches it, it'd be a first down past the sticks.
Is that more on him than the quarterback?
That's
then?
on him, yeah.
Sear Peoples had the coverage. Ethan Dwayne had a busy first half. Low punt. Again takes an Old Dominion bounce. And it is out of bounds inside the 30. Punt of 48 yards. They haven't always looked pretty, but they've been effective for the Australian punter Ethan Dwayne.
See what Tyler Bowen does and the amount of confidence that he continues to put in Grant Wells after 2 interceptions in the first half. It's always interesting to see how the quarterback responds after throwing a couple interceptions, but also the play caller. Does the play caller continue to call the game in a way in which he trusts the quarterback?
Handoff here to King. Keyshawn King had some nice first half runs, and he has a nice second half run to start. Out across the 40 for 15.
As a play caller, how much do you have to love a guy like Keyshawn King, who just makes the free guy miss? How many jump cuts here? How many Old Dominion blue jerseys do you see in there throwing an arm and throwing a body trying to bring him down? And the redshirt junior out of Orange Park, Florida, making his presence felt in this running back room.
With some banged up backs, he's taken the lead. And he'll take it again. King through the center for 3. 200 yards of offense in the first half for Virginia Tech. Now they have to deal with Ryan Henry, beg your pardon. Ryan Henry, redshirt senior, suspended for the first half, was hit with a targeting penalty in the second half of the Myrtle Beach Bowl. That does carry over to the next season for a full half. So he is on the field for the first time. Wells, short throw, that's a tight end. Drake Dulius with his first catch. Dulius needed 6 and he got 7. First down, Hokies.
Yeah, the thing I love here, Grant Wells sees the blitz, he sees the safety rotation before, and he's got a plan. He feels the pressure, he throws into the pressure. How about that pickup on the blitz by Keyshawn King, which allows his quarterback Wells to get a first down.
Flag came out right after the end along the Old Dominion sideline.
There is no foul for offensive pass interference because the pass was caught behind the line. First down.
Okay. Cleared up by Wayne Winkler. Ricky Ronnie's second season, third year at Old Dominion.
This is where you wonder if a shot is coming with some of these reduced, condensed splits on a first down play.
Might well be. There's Gallo all alone, the tight end, first down, and more than that. Maybe not a full shot down the field, but a great job clearing out the left side for Nick Gallo.
Oh, it's beautiful play design because Lofton to the field is just basically running a clear out route. He's running his man off, and that's what creates all the space for DeLewis out in the flats. And an easy pitch and catch for a lot of yards after the catch.
From the Monarch 31, King again. Trying to squirm his way through the middle, a gain of 4 yards.
When you think about what Brent Pry wants this offense to look like this year, this is what I feel like is going to be their brand of football. Tough, physical, 2 tight end sets, sometimes 1 tight end in the game. Running the football, getting into second and manageable here, and now you've got the option and the flexibility and empty for Wells to distribute it how he sees.
King's wide to the right. There's a penalty marker down instantly on the incomplete pass to Gallo.
Illegal motion, offense number 13, went in motion from the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Illegal shift here, guy moving. His receiver's got to be set for at least a full second before the ball snapped.
So instead of the 3rd and 6, Old Dominion will accept the penalty to get to 2nd and 11. Handoff for King again. Nowhere to run. Jalen Holston this time, beg your pardon, was the running back, and he was crunched. Henderson was there in the backfield. Chris Trinidad 2, and it'll be 3rd and very long.
Yeah. They split Lofton out way to the field, and it's a combination of Henderson, but also the nickel Sam coming in, seeing the run. Ryan Henry was all the way bumped out, double teaming Lofton to the field, and as soon as he saw run, he stuck his nose in there.
Nice to have Henry back here in the second half. No gain on that play. Play clock's running down and ran out.
Play of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
It's officially 8 penalties against Virginia Tech.
Brent Wells at the line of scrimmage using a fake snap count. What he was trying to do is see this rotation, using a little snap count manipulation, but he didn't realize that the play clock was under 5. And that's just a byproduct of a quarterback who will learn on the job as he plays in louder environments like this.
A lot of Hokie fans, but the Monarch faithful making noise. It's a 3rd and 16 draw. Wells will put Virginia Tech, we think, into field goal territory, a run of 10. But remember the last field goal try, Vincenzo Anthony had the high snap that was scooped and scored for a touchdown. And Anthony is going to return as the long snapper here for a Virginia Tech field goal try. It'll be Moore to hold and Ross to kick. Ross from 44. Snap is better, so is the hold. The kick is a beauty. Right down the gut from Will Ross to tie the game at 10. Good first drive of the second half for Virginia Tech. We are all square at ODU.
With no fees or minimums.
It's a historic day for Old Dominion. Its first football game as a member of this iteration of the Sun Belt, which they had previously joined in 1982. The Sun Belt expanded by 4 this year. James Madison, one of the best teams in FCS, moves up to FBS. Old Dominion, Marshall, and Southern Miss come from Conference USA. Just the right column there, Hudson, shows you how much deeper this league has gotten with the additions of App State, Coastal Carolina, notably over the last decade.
I think the Sun Belt is one of the best, if not the best, Group of 5 conference in all of college football. I mean, it is top down. I mean, Louisiana was ranked last year. What Georgia State has done the past couple years, beating Tennessee a couple years ago. They took Auburn to the ropes last year. They got South Carolina tomorrow. I think it was a great fit for Old Dominion. I mean, regionally it makes more sense. The Old Dominion, Coach Ronnie told us, was traveling on average over 1,000 miles for an away game, and now they're traveling only about 500. And I think, too, on the schedule, it makes sense because you're going to get a lot more geographic rivalries. And people want hate in college football. That's what rivalries breed hate. Hate is what makes college football great.
So here's your geography. ODU up in the top right. They're going to play James Madison, Marshall, App State every year. The Sun Belt's going to try to make this as geographical as possible. And I love what you just said, Ricky Ronnie, that indifference is bad for college football. Indifference is a killer. Hate is good for college football. He feels like it could be a better move for them. The administration fully on board. Conference USA, some good programs, but it has been a real geographic hodgepodge of a league. And this isn't perfectly airtight. It stretches from Texas to Virginia, but it's a lot better fit for Old Dominion, and the quality of play is very strong, as you mentioned, in the Sun Belt. First down for the Monarchs here, a run for Watson, and he will lose a couple. Nasir Peoples in the backfield.
Old Dominion 8 drives so far in this game. They've had 5 3-and-outs.
You want hate in college football, or you just want good cartoons? Yum. Poor Hokie never had a chance. Second down and 12 for Wolf. As Old Dominion tries to find a spark, just 3 points on offense on the night. Wolf, straight drop, up for grabs, incomplete, contact there, no penalty flag. He was looking for Zach Kuntz, and Shamari Connor, the honorable mention All-ACC safety, was on him.
Now, Wolf leaves this ball a little inside, throwing it to his big target, Kuntz, at 6'8". And it's just too, as big as his wingspan is, when you leave that ball inside and you don't give him a chance, it's hard for him to make the play. But Shamari Connor, who decided to come back for his senior year, the secondary of this Virginia Tech defense is the strength.
Good no call for you there?
Yeah, good no call.
Old Dominion just 1 for 8 on third down. A long way to go for Wolf on the run. It is nearly intercepted. Dorian Strong was on it.
Well, Dorian Strong comes off the route. He's actually covering the post route to the field, and he comes off as he feels that out route break off, and he reads it perfectly. He reacts on a dime, and it hits him right in the chest, and it should have been an interception. Again, Dorian Strong, Shamari Connor, I think this secondary of Virginia Tech is going to cause opposing offenses a lot of problems this year.
Wolf is 8 for 19 for 45 yards. Higher punt here from Dwayne, and he spins it beautifully. That was touched up, maybe. Old Dominion tried to let it go, and they did touch it up at the 20. It's a punt of 57 yards for the freshman from Australia, Ethan Dwayne.
It's turned into a special teams battle.
Sometimes that happens on week 1. That's your best unit. The only college football matchup on Sunday night before the NFL gets going next week is the All-State Louisiana kickoff, part of Xfinity Kickoff Week. Florida State against Brian Kelly's LSU Tigers at Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, 7:30 Eastern, ABC, and the ESPN app.
It feels at this point in the game, the team to land the first big shot, first big explosive play, could be the team that delivers the first big punch.
Wells down the field here. That's a shot. Dawan Lofton for a first down.
Yeah.
Pickup of 16 on that throw.
What a throw. When you talk about the arm talent, this is what we talked about. When you evaluate the tape of Wells, the first thing that pops off, he can make any throw. That time rolling out to his non-dominant side, can't really step into a throw, and he just flicks it out there.
A transfer from Marshall in his Virginia Tech debut. 5,623 yards, 2 years with the Thundering Herd. And a handoff here for Keyshawn King. So when you talk big plays, it's a little bit of a different feeling now for Virginia Tech. They didn't have that under Braxton Burmeister last season. 1 touchdown on 40-yard air throws the last 2 years. Wells by his lonesome at 5.
Yeah, what's unique about Wells is as the ball travels further down the field, he actually becomes more accurate. And you don't see that a lot with quarterbacks. And this day and age in college football, you have to be able to create explosive plays. And an explosive play in the passing game is 20 yards or more.
Second down, screen play. Old Dominion's all over it. Gallo had the play. It's a loss of 2 on a quick wrap-up from Sean Asbury, the Boston College transfer.
Trying to run a little bit of a naked boot, get the tight end out in the flat, which they've had some success with, but Old Dominion has made nice adjustments in the second half, covering the flats. And here Virginia Tech finds themselves again in a 3rd and long situation. Last time Old Dominion decided to rush 3. They've shown a 3-man front here with 2 linebackers, 3 safeties in the middle of the field. Let's see if they play drop 8.
They do drop 8, and Wells drops it long. Gallo was the target. Would have been shy of a first down anyway. Old Dominion holds.
There's not a lot of routes that you can draw on the whiteboard for 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13. There's just not, especially when the defense is playing 8 guys in zone coverage and they're dropping the spots and they're just reading the eyes of the quarterback. And really the answer there is a check down, and you just kind of have to punt. Maybe you'll find a tight window you can rip it into, but statistically, when you're living in 3rd and long, there just aren't a lot of plays that you can draw up.
Isaiah Page at his own 20. Puntapalooza continues with more. Fair catch made by Page. And we turn the page with 6:04 to go in the 3rd. 10-10 in the opener in Norfolk. Old Dominion trying to get anything going on offense. 7 of their 10 points came on a scoop and score on a bad snap on a field goal. Kevin Riener is the acting offensive coordinator here. He was announced on August 21st. That's just 2 weeks ago. Dave Patno was the offensive coordinator, abruptly resigned on August 12th. And so Riener is just 30 years old. Is calling plays for the 2nd time. Wolf is hit. The ball is out. It's picked up by Virginia Tech's Dax Hollifield. Jaden Keller punched it out, and it's a takeaway for Tech at the 10.
And it's an RPO, and the one downside about RPOs is your offensive linemen are blocking runs, but the quarterback has the option to throw it. And so if that ball doesn't come out quickly, bad things can happen. And Dax Hollifield picks up after Hayden Wolf just gets drilled from the blind side. Dax Hollifield, who punched the ball out for Virginia Tech's first turnover earlier in the game, this time right place at the right time. A 5th-year linebacker.
It was Jaden Keller, who did not have a tackle a season ago, with the sack, and there is the lunch pail. Hold it high, Hokies. It's back. So an empty backfield for Wells on 1st and goal, and flags are flying from everywhere.
This is the one mistake that Old Dominion just couldn't make. It has been a field position game so far. And in games like that, it really comes down to which is the first team that makes the first big mistake.
All-star offense, number 89. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Drake Dooley is the tight end. 5th turnover of the game. Virginia Tech's committed 3, and now Old Dominion 2.
If I'm Old Dominion, I'm selling out to stop the run, but you have to remember, and you have to account for the legs of the quarterback. Last time they were down here in the 1st quarter, Wells pulled it on his own read for a touchdown.
They'll give it to King here, following his blockers inside the 10, down to the 6. That's a gain of 9 for Keyshawn King. The redshirt junior up over 100 yards.
He's had a great day, hard runner. He's going to get more and more opportunity throughout the season because of his performance today. They pulled a guard, pulled a tight end, run a little counter tray action. And we knew coming in, because of the absence of Thomas and the banged upness of Holston, that he was going to get a shot. He goes over 100 yards already.
103 career carries, 108 in 23 games. 3 rushing touchdowns. He's been the bell cow this evening. Play clock at 4. It's Wells on the keeper. Nowhere to throw it. So what now, Hudson Mason?
You know, this is a situation in the red zone where you'd like to take advantage of a taller receiver or a taller tight end. Virginia Tech doesn't have a 6'4", 6'5" receiver, and here they got a bunch formation to the right.
He'll look to the right. He'll throw to the right. It's King all alone for a Hokies touchdown.
Grant Wells catches it, and it felt like a screen. I think it threw off the defensive line of Old Dominion because the way Wells was retreating just made it feel like it was a slow screen. He whips his eyes back around to the right, and Keyshawn King was absolutely, totally uncovered out in the flat.
Second career receiving touchdown for King, who had the big 9-yard run to get the Hokies to the 6. And the touchdown catch to end it. Extra point sliced through by Ross. A modest 10-play drive after the forced fumble from Jaden Keller and the recovered fumble from Dax Hollifield to set up the touchdown for Tech.
It's the defense that led to the short field and the opportunity here to score 7 points. But see, it feels like a slow screen the way that Grant Wells looked to the left. But the thing is no offensive linemen are out in front, so it's not a slow screen. It just totally confused the defense of Old Dominion. And I go back to the fact that in a field position game, when your offenses are struggling in a game like this, it always typically comes down to which team makes the first big mistake. And Virginia Tech has been aggressive all night. Their defensive line, especially the interior part of this defensive line, has caused havocs. They caused a havoc there that led to a fumble recovery and a touchdown.
Well, you want Bud Foster lunch pail defense? Virginia Tech's giving it to you. 3 points allowed defensively. The Hokies have completely stymied Old Dominion and finally given opportunity after opportunity. They do cash in for 7. I think if we were wondering about identity and what the identity would be under Brent Pry, so far the defensive identity is right what Brent Pry wanted it to be. Game 1, yes. Tougher competition ahead, yes. But a good start on that side of the ball as James is wrestled down to the 21. I mean, this was not a good unit last year, Virginia Tech's defense. They were the 5th best scoring defense in the ACC, but on a yards per play basis, tied for 92nd in the country, allowed nearly 6 yards per play, 98 in the country in rushing yards per carry. Their pass defense was not great. These are the ACC ranks for Virginia Tech, and there's the new coordinator, Chris Marv. He's not calling the plays right now. Brent Pry is. Chris is a very young guy, bright star in the coaching business. And the expectation is at some point he does take that responsibility. Here's a good first down run for Blake Watson. Chris Marv, who, by the way, told us when we asked him, why did you coach football? He said it was the last thing I was thinking about in college. At Vanderbilt, he was a double major in human and organizational development and sociology, and just felt driven right at the end of his career, in part because of Brent Pry, who was his linebackers coach and has been a mentor to Chris Marv since the start of his college career. Watson again trying to spill forward for the first down. He's right near it.
Marv has done a tremendous job everywhere he's gone. Last year at Florida State coaching linebackers, and if you look at the way that he helped and helped improve Florida State's rush defense by 50 yards. I know as soon as Brent Pry got the opportunity to start to put together his staff, he thought of Chris Marv, 33 years old and an absolute rising star in this profession.
You asked him what made you say yes. He said
Brent Pry.
Brent Pry. Speak for itself. Third straight touch for Watson. Finally a first down in the second half for Old Dominion.
Hayden Wolf is going to have to change up the snap count because Josh Fuga a couple times now, and that play in particular is getting a beat on the snap count. As a quarterback, the snap count is your friend. You got to go on one, you got to go on the quick, but you got to mix it up. And that'll help out your offensive linemen because it'll slow down the pass rush.
Wolf will take a shot into all kinds of coverage off the hands of Keontae Jenkins.
That was triple covered. Hayden Wolf should not have thrown this. Really gets a pretty good clean pocket, and that is quadruple covered. Quarterback's all about decision making, and it's about placement and accuracy. And, you know, to thrive at this level and against a really good secondary, Virginia Tech, you got to have professional accuracy and ball placement, but you also got to make good decisions.
He's got his left guard back in there, Tyron Hunt, for this set of downs. How many will the Hokies bring? They back off. They only rush 3. They get near Wolf anyway. He has to make a play on the run, and he will not. A 3-man rush was more than enough for Virginia Tech, which gave up 1 first down but will force another punt.
Yeah, this time it's Pollard. A couple plays ago it was Fuga. This time it's Pollard. It's been the interior defensive linemen that again have been getting a beat on the snap count. And you see Pollard splits a triple team from the 2 linemen and the running back, and he's just been given absolute havoc to the pocket presence of Hayden Wolf.
High punt for Dwayne. No fair catch signal made by DJ Harvey, and Harvey will cut it to the sideline and get something out of this, but 2 flags are thrown. A punt of 44, return of 19, that will be negated. That could be a taped shot from any number of moments in this game. Has not been clean penalty-wise for either team.
During the return, illegal block in the back, receiving team number 40. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Saturday, 2 great matchups highlight our Week 1 college football lineup. Chick-fil-A kickoff, part of Xfinity Kickoff Week. Oregon and defending champion Georgia at 3:30 Eastern in Atlanta, followed by Notre Dame at Ohio State, 7:30 Eastern on ABC. Both games streaming live on the ESPN app. On the eve of the first true Saturday in college football, we had Week 0 last week to whet the appetite. Backyard brawl, Purdue, Penn State yesterday. It's a juicy meal tomorrow on a first down play. D.V. Harris is in the backfield for Old Dominion to trip up Chance Black.
D.V. Harris, 2.5 sacks last year, 5 tackles for loss. Really active in the run game, and this time he gets a good jump on the tight end for Virginia Tech. Again into the hands of Black.
Couple of shots here, but by and large, Virginia Tech has stayed on the ground, even without the injured Malachi Thomas.
It feels like when Virginia Tech has been, I don't want to say backed up, but when they've been on their own 20 or 25, they've taken a more conservative approach. Now they find themselves in a 3rd and 7, and Old Dominion has done a really good job of mixing up their pressure packages tonight. Sometimes they show it and they back out. Sometimes they show it, they bring it. This time they're showing it again. Let's see as Wells checks, if they check.
A lot of pressure coming off the back foot. Wells a little bit too long, and his receiver didn't see it. Pressure came from E.J. Green, the backup linebacker, as Wells took a shot.
Yeah, they bring an all-out pressure, playing man with a single high safety, and Wells takes a lick. Tries to put enough air under it, knowing he's got to anticipate, let it go early. And I thought it was interesting this week. Blake Seiler, the defensive coordinator for Old Dominion. Remember, Grant Wells at Marshall last year played Old Dominion. He was kind of the hero of the game. 2-minute drive, ended up winning it for him. But asking Blake Seiler what he wanted to do differently, he said blitz more.
Good field position coming. Isaiah Page with a fair catch. Only a 34-yard punt for the All-ACC punter, Peter Moore.
Here's Old Dominion with great field position. You wonder just where is that shot? When is it coming? You know, they've been really reserved tonight on taking opportunities when these safeties for Virginia Tech have started to creep lower and lower and lower as the game goes on, and you see him here 8-9 yards, which is pretty shallow.
6-3 and outs for Old Dominion, 5 turnovers apiece. The backyard brawl, it is not. Monarchs looking for their first offensive touchdown tonight. Wolf will hand it off. Nothing doing. Dax Hollifield was all over it. And Armani Chapman, the cornerback, as well, for a loss of a yard on Watson.
That's Armani Chapman, the corner, who comes in from the boundary. Anytime that ball's on the left hash and that safety starts to creep over there, that means somebody's coming. And a perfect timed blitz and a perfect time call to run that type of blitz by Brent Pry.
Breon Murray, the other corner at that side, suspended. They felt like Chapman was trending in the direction to start anyway. Wolf just didn't get rid of it cleanly. Had the comeback for Jennings. That was not cleanly released, and maybe the pressure is starting to get to Wolf a little more.
Yeah, Virginia Tech has done a good job of making him move his feet. There haven't been a lot of clean pockets, and here, you know, the Hokies only bring 4. And that's a clean pocket. You have to make that throw. That's as clean of a pocket as you're going to get in college football.
What do you see here from Wolf's eyes?
They're showing no safety, but 24 is about to roll.
And Virginia Tech calls a timeout.
Virginia Tech, they're first. It'll be 30 seconds.
So Brent Pry didn't like what he was seeing there.
What can you do here offensively if you're Old Dominion? When you have taken pure straight dropbacks and tried to throw the ball downfield, you know, your quarterback has gotten hit. You really hadn't had enough time to really allow deeper routes to develop down the field. Guys like Norrell Pollard and Josh Fuga and Jalen Griffin have been living in the backfield all night. You max protect. If you max protect and you keep 7 in, then you know you're giving up a guy running a route. So
I feel like what you're saying right now out loud is probably what's spinning around Kevin Riener's mind, as Hayden Wolf has gone 8 of 22 in this game, and it feels like no matter what they've done, they haven't found the answer.
There haven't been a lot of easy completions for Wolf tonight. You know, and I think that's one thing when they watch the tape again, whether they win or lose, for Coach Riener will be a learning moment. Is we've got these really athletic receivers, big, tall tight ends. There's ways to get creative and allow them to catch the ball on screens or catch it more in space with separation to make a guy miss. 3rd and 11 is hard, no matter if you're calling plays for the first time or you've been calling plays for 30 years.
3rd and 11, rush of 4. Wolf will throw it. Pass is complete. Couple of yards shy of a first down. Jennings on the comeback route, and on 4th and 2 at the 44. Got to go for this, right?
Yeah, I mean, depending on if it's actually 1 yard or if it's less, the ball is spot. But, you know, Jennings needs to take one more step. Again, knowing where the chains are, really 2 more steps. This isn't 4th and 1. This is a long 4th and 2.
Running back is Watson. 15 seconds in the quarter. Wolf lobs it up for Jennings. Lot of contact there. Flags are flying from every direction. Nasir Peoples had the coverage, and it was a little too much.
Pass interference. Defense, number 5. 15-yard penalty and an automatic.
Well, Jennings does a really good job of getting Peoples in a trail technique, meaning he's got him in his hip pocket. And watch this, as soon as Jennings kind of turns his head, as a DB, you're thinking, okay, the ball is close. And that's when DBs start to tend to swipe and stick their hand out because they're thinking the ball's about to fall in the arms of the receiver. It's a great job of Jennings of turning his eyes and his head around because the ball wasn't as close as it really perceived to be.
A penalty to bail out Old Dominion and keep the Monarchs drive alive. But Virginia Tech has been so good defensively in this game. They've allowed just 3 points defensively in the first game of the Brent Pry era. It's been a lunch pail kind of night. The forced fumble by Keller, picked up by Hollifield, led to the touchdown to King. Hokies in the lead with 15 to play. Back to SB Ballard Stadium in Norfolk. Kevin Brown and Hudson Mason with you. Virginia Tech in front by 7 in the start of the 4th quarter here in this opening week of college football. But Old Dominion driving to try and tie. Hayden Wolf will check it down, looking for Zach Kuntz. He hasn't been looking for Kuntz too much in this game. Just 1 catch for Kuntz, 5 targets. And Jalen Griffin had the coverage there on the 6'8" tight end.
Yeah, Brent Pry's game plan has completely eliminated the big tight end who was 2nd in the country last year with 73 receptions, and really has eliminated Ali Jennings as well, the 2 pass catches and 2 biggest targets for this Monarchs offense.
Armani Chapman is assigned to Kuntz at the top of the formation. 3rd down. Kuntz is underneath. He slipped free. He's got a first down.
Really one of the best reps tonight from a pure progression standpoint and getting to the backside of a progression by Hayden Wolf. Eyes on the right side of the field. His 1st and 2nd read weren't there, and he comes back over the ball and finds his big tight end.
From the 17, Watson. Hard charging for 2. Let's go back to that 3rd down play.
Yeah, watch Hayden Wolf's eyes. Right, they start on the right side, but Kuntz is on the left, and that's something that as he gets more reps in this offense and he gets more time with his new offensive coordinator, Coach Reiner, he'll get more comfortable with getting through his reads. But it was a big time pickup on 3rd down.
Kuntz to the right on 2nd down and 7.
The reduced split, the shift by the defensive line of Virginia Tech spooked this offensive line at the last. Well, they're calling it on Virginia Tech.
The umpire, Trent Crawford, jumped in and may have changed this discussion.
I wonder if they're saying that Virginia Tech called out the snap, because I mean it was a penalty right before the snap, which is why I thought it would have been a false start.
Delay of game Defense, number 4, for disconcerting signals, calling the offensive escape. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
So we got some of that. You were right on that, Hudson. That was a delay of game on number 4, Dax Hollifield, for the signals.
Yeah. The weird part is they said for signals. As this defensive line reduces, it's hard to know unless you're out there. But look at Dax's reaction. I mean, they essentially called him for calling out the offensive snap count. But
second and 2, it's Wicks, the backup running back, taken down with enough for the first down. Jaden Keller with a tackle. It is first and goal, Old Dominion. Keyshawn Wicks, the 6'1", 193-pound sophomore, at a great camp. A little bit of a bigger back. He spells Watson. Just the 10th first down for ODU, which has still not scored an offensive touchdown.
Woods has one-on-one in the slot to the right.
Low snap, Wolf will look that way for Kuntz. He overshot him. Coverage was there from Jamari Connor.
Again, when you have a big body tight end like that, you have to give him a chance to go up and make a play. The overthrow is really the worst possible thing. And that ball almost sails out of the back of the end zone.
Play of this drive coming. It'll be a run to Wicks, swimming his way, keeping his balance across the 5, worming down to the 3. Hollifield made the stop.
Yeah, it's been like a battle between Dax playing that middle linebacker position and the running backs for Old Dominion that have been really patient. He almost kind of squirted this one out, but Holyfield was right there to make the tackle. You know, big third down and goal here from about the 3-yard line.
8 tackles for Hollifield, the 6th leading tackler in the ACC a year ago. Where do the Monarchs go on 3rd and goal? Wolf looking for Kuntz. It's incomplete. Coverage by Connor. He went for the 6'8" tight end again. What will Old Dominion do on 4th and goal from the 3, down 7?
Running a slant. Kuntz runs a good route. He's open early when he comes out of his break, and the ball's a bit late, which allows Connor to recover and break it up.
You like the field goal here? 4th and goal from the 3, down 7?
I think it's the right call. Early in the 4th quarter, I think it's the right call.
Ethan Sanchez from 20. It's 17-13. 6 points offensively for Old Dominion. A long drive ends in just 3. Beautiful moment between the 1st and 2nd quarters today. Those 2 kids are Foster and Cam, 6-year-olds who became best friends in a local hospital here in Norfolk because they were both undergoing treatment for leukemia. They beat leukemia, and now they've received their wish, which was a trip to Disney World. The kids are children of parents of ODU and Virginia Tech alums. Their wish was to visit Disney World together, and on the field, in between the quarters, they were surprised with that wish. A wonderful moment here on this opening week of college football. Foster and Cam have a great trip down to Disney World. 2 friends for life. On the return, Chance Black up to the 29. Virginia Tech will have it there. 12:24 to go and a 4-point lead in this first game under the new head coach Brent Pry. First game under the quarterback Grant Wells. How's he played so far?
I think he's rebounded nicely after the 2 interceptions, and what I love to see is that his play caller has never really lost faith in it. As I said, you can lose faith as a quarterback. You can get a little trigger shy after throwing a couple interceptions, but so can your offensive coordinator. And I think Tyler Bowen, who's calling plays for the first time in his career, has done a nice job trusting him.
He's 3 for 7 on deep shots in the game. Keyshawn King here. Wells, a couple of years at Marshall. He's a Conference USA Freshman of the Year in 2020. First freshman quarterback to be named first team All-Conference USA. Honorable mention All-Conference a season ago. It's another injured Old Dominion player. That's Robert Kennedy, the touchdown scorer from the first half. We'll step aside in Norfolk here in the fourth.
The Boeing Red Tails Classic is more than a matchup between two historically black colleges and universities. It's a reminder of the Tuskegee Airmen's bravery and sacrifice, the first class of black fighter pilots who trained at Tuskegee Institute in Alabama during the height of Jim Crow. The Boeing Red Tails Classic opens the college football season, so follow the action on social by using the hashtag #RedTailsClassic and enjoy the game.
So sweet, so crispy. Nobody makes breakfast as good as Wendy's new home-style French toast sticks.
Nobody.
Nope.
Keep talking. I can't hear you.
I should probably stop.
Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new.
Virginia Tech's got the lead here in Old Dominion. It's 4. It certainly could be more. The Hokies have had some notable miscues tonight.
Yeah, it's looked like a typical week one matchup for both teams. Interceptions, 2 in the first half for Virginia Tech. Miscommunication on a route, a bad decision to throw an out route versus a press corner, and then a sloppy snap on a long Virginia Tech field goal that led to a scoop and score and the only touchdown of the night for the Monarchs.
Was this a miscue? The coaches got stuck in the elevator for 15 minutes. That wasn't their fault. That's a harsh miscue right there. But
it's week one. We're all iron the kinks out.
Even the elevator operators. This was a 4th down penalty against Nasir Peoples, extending a drive and leading Old Dominion to 3 points. A lot to iron out for Brent Pry. It's week one of what should be many in his Virginia Tech career, and he's got a first down here. It's the tight end Nick Gallo, who's been pretty involved in the passing game tonight.
How many times has Virginia Tech burned Old Dominion with the tight end just leaking to the flat? They kind of show the ball like it's going to be inside zone. Those linebackers kind of suck up thinking it's going to be run, and then the tight end comes from the opposite side of the formation and just leaks into the flat.
Gallo, the leading receiver in the game, 6 catches for 46, had 25 catches in 35 games coming in. Younger brother of former Tech offensive lineman Eric. Keyshawn King tripped up. Terry Jones, who's had a nice night, had an interception on that tackle.
This Monarchs defense, which has 7 starters back this year, is going to be a tough defense to move the ball on in the Sun Belt this year.
And they lost their all-time leader in tacklers, Jordan Young, but that's Henry 8, Henderson 42. They feel really good about those 2 linebackers. Brought back the whole defensive staff as well under Blake Seiler. Youngest coaching staff in the country here. Wells hit and delivered another one to the tight end. That's catch number 7 for Nick Gallo, as Wells once again shrugs off a hit.
I like the way the tight ends have been featured in this offense, and I like how Wells goes through his progression here. He gets back to the other side of the field and finds a completion. That was something that Tyler Bowen has been preaching to Grant Wells. Find completions. When you find completions, good things happen. Let's see if he can find one here on 3rd and 5.
First down line is just across the 47. That's not going to be a fumble recovery.
Illegal snap. Offense number 55. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Johnny Jordan hit for his 2nd penalty. 13 against Virginia Tech.
Now what happened there is Grant Wells is trying to either change the protection or change something. And remember, your offensive line can't see you, right? And so they're a little bit on edge. They're expecting set hut. And so when you walk up to the line of scrimmage and you yell something, sometimes it can spook your offensive line, and I think that's what happened there.
There have been some snafus for Virginia Tech tonight. Wells quarterback draw, he almost broke it, but it was covered up well enough at the point of impact. And no gain. Jason Henderson, Chris Kane were in there. A punt coming up.
They ran this same play earlier in the half, and they picked up about 10 yards on it, and this time Blake Seiler said, nuh-uh, I'm going to have every gap accounted for. I'm going to play man on the outside just like he told us he would do, and he'd be really aggressive. Trust his corners, his senior corners. And they ran a nice TE stunt, tackle in stunt. Virginia Tech wasn't able to pick it up.
High booming punt from Moore. Harris leans into the fair catch, a short one. A lot of hang time, but only 30 on the kick. Our next UFC Fight Night tomorrow from Paris. Heavyweight main event. Former interim champ Cyril Gane takes on Tai Tuivasa in a 5-fight knockout streak. Plus Robert Whitaker squares off against Marvin Vettori in the middleweight co-main. Prelims start at noon Eastern, followed by the main card at 3 Eastern on ESPN Plus in English and Spanish. Go to ESPNplus.com or download the ESPN app to watch. Old Dominion winners of 5 consecutive regular season games to end the season last year. They were really humming offensively. Scored just 10 offensive points in the bowl game against Tulsa. Only 6 offensive points today. Hollifield with a tackle on Sims. No gain on first down.
How many times today has Hollifield just been unblocked? You know, it's like
too many?
Too many. I mean, you might want to get an offensive lineman on him. The guy's a tackling machine who will put his body on the line and do whatever it takes.
Wolf, there's the shot. One-on-one. It is caught. What an adjustment. Ollie Jennings finally makes the big play they've been waiting for. 35 yards.
Speaking of adjustments, Kevin, that's the throw that Hayden Wolf had to make. The underthrow to give his guy a chance to make a play.
Keep it on the ground on first down. Hollifield another tackle. We go back to the catch for Jennings.
How many times have we seen Wolf overthrow his receivers? He gets the one-on-one matchup that he wants with his receiver, who had over 1,000 yards receiving last year, and that's just like a back shoulder underthrown ball. That is a great throw and great execution on the throw from Hayden Wolf.
West Virginia transferred over 850 yards in the last 7 games a season ago. Second down and 10. Obisani is the running back, and a very conservative pair of plays after the 35-yard pass.
And I think that's where they've gotten a bit predictable, and Brent Pry and his defensive staff have figured out after an explosive play or a first down, Old Dominion has been heavy run following those type of plays. They've got to do something to break up the predictability after a big play or a first down, coming back with a run, because Virginia Tech has it totally sniffed out.
2 for 13 on third down. Wolf up top again. This one is incomplete. Tight coverage by Armani Chapman on Jennings. They took another single coverage shot with Ollie Jennings, and Virginia Tech was all over it.
Yeah, this is really good coverage by Chapman. Give him credit. Earlier in the game, he panicked when he had his back turned, and he got charged for a pass interference.
Fourth and 11, the offense is still out there.
I wonder if we would get a quarterback punt here.
Kuntz alone to the left.
Nope.
Wolf's going to throw it. Needs 11. Incomplete. Into the center of the defense for Jennings. Virginia Tech holds strong. Dorian Strong with a coverage for the Hokies. A fourth down stand for Virginia Tech. They've allowed just 6 points defensively in the first game of the Brent Pry era.
Finished?
The greatest story ever played, the College Football Playoff on ESPN.
Virginia Tech's first game under Brent Pry, Old Dominion's first game in the Sun Belt. It's still up for grabs. The Hokies have control of the steering wheel after a 4th down stop. Under 7 minutes to play in this 4th quarter. Grant Wells, a touchdown pass, a touchdown run in his Hokie debut, and a handoff here, a broken tackle, and a nice open field tackle made on Keyshawn King. That was Taj Rael, the backup safety, to hold King to a yard.
Tell you what, the one positive coming out tonight for Virginia Tech has been Keyshawn King. 117 yards total is what he rushed for last year. He went over 100 tonight alone. And with some guys that are still TBD in that running back room, like Holston and Malachi Thomas, I think they've found them another running back.
Wells will look his way again. He has broken so many tackles tonight, King. That play should have been stopped for just a couple of yards. Instead, it's a slithery first down.
I mean, you could put a teach tape together tonight alone on breaking tackles and being slippery in space. I mean, he's just been doing this all night. Guys just bounce off of him. The body control, the elusiveness.
Had some sporadic opportunities in his career, nothing more. Redshirt junior from Orange Park, Florida. Tackled by Jason Henderson, who has 13, but King has been the man. Malachi Thomas in a walking boot. Jalen Holston, a 6-year senior, listed first on the depth chart, has played a little bit. He hasn't shown the explosiveness that King has, and frankly, we went into this game not knowing what skill position players would step up for Virginia Tech. We have an answer now at running back. Holston replaces him for a 2nd and 9. Clock ticking toward 5 minutes. Holston will take it. Through the middle, gets about 1.5 yards. What's your thought process here for Tyler Bowen, offensive coordinator?
You definitely want to play it safe. If you're going to throw it, maybe a screen, maybe a short to intermediate, high percentage completion type throw. But if you're the quarterback, Grant Wells, and nothing's open, it's not the end of the world to take a sack here. You certainly just cannot put the ball in harm's way.
2 interceptions tonight. Wells here, first down throw inside the 40. He hit day one Lofton. Down to the 38, he got 9 yards.
You see the aggressiveness from Tyler Bowen when they've got the Monarchs on the ropes. He's going for it. He's going for the jugular comeback route. Versus soft corner is a great play call. And Lofton slams on the brakes. You get enough time and protection. And Wells executes a beautifully thrown ball. And now what you're thinking is bleed this play clock down to under 5 on every snap. And if you're the running back, ball security is the most important thing.
Snap it a little earlier than that. It's a pass instead. It's the tight end Drake Dulius, the 6th-year senior. Got 5 yards, stayed in bounds, under 4 to play. Just don't get the sense that this is going to be a big air it out kind of team. We've seen some faster tempo today, but they have started to win with their physicality.
I agree with you. This isn't going to be a team as the season goes on that throws the ball 40+ times a game. They want to be balanced. Their head coach is a defensive coordinator. He wants to run the ball and play really good defense.
Holston again. Jalen Holston brought down. There's a flag on the play right near the line of scrimmage.
Illegal formation. The offense had more than 4 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
That is the 100th penalty yard at the end of that. 14 penalties for Virginia Tech.
And it's such a dumb, self-inflicted penalty that's just going to drive Coach Pry crazy. The clock was running. You've got momentum. And that's just a matter of not communicating and not understanding how many guys should be in the backfield and how many guys should be on the line of scrimmage.
Stop the clock with 3:12. Wells will run it. Wells goes down. hung onto the ball, but that was all he did. A stoppage with 3:06 to go. Old Dominion with a couple of timeouts, and they will use their first of 3.
This was a design quarterback run with an option to throw the ball to the perimeter on an RPO. If it was going to be thrown, it had to be thrown immediately. Remember, offensive linemen can't be more than 3.5 yards down the field when the ball is thrown. Otherwise, that's an illegal man downfield. So it was a design quarterback draw, and Coach Ronnie decides to burn a timeout, still 2 in his back pocket, and 3rd and 13 here. We saw them go for it on the last 3rd down. Run a comeback route past the sticks. I'd be shocked if they're just as aggressive in this 3rd and long situation.
Well, it's down to crunch time now for these two coaches who know each other so well, who ran so many 2-minute drill battles in their time together at Penn State. Their time at Vanderbilt with James Franklin before that. Brent Pry, the defensive coordinator of the Nittany Lions. Ricky Ronnie, his good friend on the other side. Not friends for these 60 minutes. 3rd and 13. They'll look to throw it with Wells. A short pass. It is intercepted. Oh, wow! A flag thrown very late. Ryan Henry had the interception right out of the hands of a Virginia Tech player, Holston. There was a very late flag thrown as well. Grant Wells' helmet momentarily off.
Okay, the penalty is going to be on Marcus Haynes of Old Dominion. He blindside hits and blindside blocks. After seeing the replay, I'll be able to tell you if it's dirty or not, but he went straight after Grant Wells after the interception. So the penalty is going to be on Old Dominion.
Wells shaken up after the hit.
After the play was over, sportsmanlike conduct, number 9 of the intercepting team. 15-yard penalty, 1st down. That's number 9's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul.
So the interception will stand for Old Dominion. The Monarchs will have the ball on the 3rd interception of the game thrown by Wells right out of the hands of Holston here.
They're trying to hit a couple over routes by the tight end and the slot receivers, and it's covered well. And Wells just drops it down to his running back, and you know, it's a tough situation because is it a catchable ball? Yes, there's the unsportsmanlike conduct hit from Marcus Haynes. You know, as a quarterback in that situation, I see where Grant Wells thinks that, okay, I'm just checking it down, and he hits the running back right in the hands, but threw it pretty fast and it got on him quick. Running backs aren't known for having great hands, and as quarterbacks, we're always taught, you know, take a little bit off when you throw it at a running back. And there were multiple blue jerseys around, and tip balls typically in zone coverage always lead to interceptions because in zone coverage, there's a guy behind the defender.
Well, the last graphic you saw tells a story that Virginia Tech in one game has matched 1/3 of its season total from a year ago in turnovers. Some good moments for Wells in his Hokie debut, but 3 interceptions. A bit of a backbreaker here as his team gives up control of the throttle. And can Hayden Wolf, on a night where Virginia Tech has flummoxed and frustrated him at every level, pull some magic out of thin air? From his own 26, Wolf has a wide open receiver. It's Jennings. What a start that is. Ollie Jennings wriggling free here in the 4th quarter for 24.
You get Jennings running the corner out from the slot, and you get Kuntz, the tight end, running the out route. Watch the corner, number 9, drive on the underneath route, which leads to the big play over the top.
That was Chapman, the corner, who went under. Jennings went over from midfield. This play negated. Wolf was looking for Jennings again.
False start. Offense number 53. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Kadir Kunta with a 6th penalty for Old Dominion. It just feels like a game that Old Dominion should have no business being in, and yet Virginia Tech has handed them chances, and they, to their credit, have been opportunistic defensively. 1st and 15. Kuntz, the man in motion. Trouble with a snap. It is up for grabs and incomplete. Hollifield all over Kuntz.
A risky decision by Hayden Wolf after the bobbled snap. A low snap, bad snap, excuse me. Picks it up and throws it behind. Holyfield gets his hands on it, and Keontae Jenkins slips in the middle of the field. Otherwise, it would have been a pick.
Xavier Black, the walk-on center, with a low snap, replacing the 6-year player Isaac Weaver. Second down, a long throw to get 5 yards. Jordan Bly back to midfield to the original line of scrimmage. 2 minutes and 11 seconds remaining in a 4-point game.
If you're Kevin Riener of Old Dominion, you have to look at this as 2-down territory. The young offensive coordinator called plays for the first time. You have 2 downs to get it. You don't have to pick it all up in 1 down.
Kuntz is used as a blocker. Wolf is going to run it. He typically doesn't do that. He took a big hit. The ball came free. It is picked up by Virginia Tech. It appears the Hokies think they have it. It is Virginia Tech ball. The question now, was Hayden Wolf down before that ball popped out? Jalen Stroman was in there for the Hokies. He popped it loose. With 1:46 to go, is it turnover, or was the quarterback Wolf down?
It was a great play. Wolf, nothing's open, steps up. Look at this little pump fake right there. Buys him an extra 5 yards, and his knee is down.
No question.
No question about it.
Monarch offense is just going to hang out for a moment as we're in replay purgatory. This should not take long. But we'll build the drama for you and go to break here. 1:46 to go. Who's going to have the football when we come back?
When you're awake.
Old Dominion has the ball back after video review. Hayden Wolf, the quarterback, clearly down on a play that was originally called a fumble. There's the knee, ball in possession. So 4th and a yard here from the 41. What are you looking for Old Dominion?
Well, Old Dominion in short yardage situations like this, they've tried to run the ball right up the middle. But that pesky, stern front 7 of Virginia Tech has not allowed them to get much yardage on situations like this. Old Dominion with 2 tight ends set in. Typically, that's a heavy run personnel set.
It'll be Watson. It took way too long to develop, but then Watson got free anyway. That play was DOA, and Blake Watson breaks another tackle to keep the game alive.
I mean, there is nothing there. Look at the log jam there. How in the world does Blake Watson turn that into a positive gain?
Needed 1, got 2. From the 39. Wolf looking for a lot of it. He threw it short. Incomplete down near the 10. Ollie Jennings was the target.
I mean, from here, I thought Hayden Wolf pulled it on the zone read because Blake Watson was going the opposite direction. Turns out he actually had the ball, and he just kept his legs going, his legs churning, and that's the hard runner that he is. Over 215 carries for him last year, which was a program record, and they've turned to him in big moments again tonight, and it's paid off.
Virginia Tech really struggled on 4th down defense a year ago. They allow a big one here. 1:16 and 2 timeouts for the Monarchs. Wolf off his back foot, up for grabs. It is caught down to the 1-yard line. Ollie Jennings. The flags are out as well. Dorian Strong in the coverage. This penalty will quite obviously be declined, and it should be first and goal at the 1.
Well, Hayden Wolf gets hit as he's releasing the ball. And the ball does not come out cleanly whatsoever. But time and time again, you see underthrown balls work out because the receiver can see it when it's underthrown and the DB can't. Yeah, Wolf totally hit as he's throwing, cleanly hit, can't really step in and finish his throw, which is why the ball kind of floats in the air. And Dorian Strong sees it. He just can't quite slam on the brakes quick enough to make a play. And the past 2 deep ball throws for Hayden Wolf have been underthrows. The back shoulder ball earlier in the drive to Ollie Jennings, which resulted in a big play, and then another underthrow ball there.
Tywan Garbutt, one of the defensive ends, was down for a long time, just left injured, which means Virginia Tech will be a little less stout on the front line after an amazing catch by Jennings. A first half where he was blanketed. 1 catch and he lost a fumble after it. But the all-conference first team Sun Belt pick has stepped up with 1 big play after another here in the second.
What a game it's been for Old Dominion for both teams. I mean, Old Dominion has really just struggled offensively and struggled to generate explosive plays. And then all of a sudden on this last drive, when you had to have it, Hayden Wolf has stepped up big, but so has Ollie Jennings.
No timeout was taken, just an injury timeout, which means the clock continues to run. 45 seconds and ticking. Now a timeout will be called by Virginia Tech. A lot of time bled off there as compared to if Brent Pry had called the timeout in the first place. 41 seconds as the Hokies use timeout number 2, and Ricky Ronnie, red-faced, will walk away from his Old Dominion huddle.
He is fired up. What a program win this would be. You think that guy cares? You think that guy's passionate about what he does? Look at him. He wants it.
He and Brent Pry, along with James Franklin, helped rebuild Penn State into one of the nation's elite programs. Ricky Ronnie took this job, took over a team that didn't play a season in 2020. 643 days without a game, started 1-6 a year ago. Some way, somehow, they scrambled to get to a bowl game, winning 5 in a row, and now they are trying to take down a Power 5 opponent in Virginia Tech for the second time. First and goal for the 1. It is Watson. Watson is hit. Watson falls forward. Is he in? He sure is. Touchdown, Old Dominion. Blake Watson breaks the plane. Sanchez to make it a 3-point game. Couldn't hear the microphone there of Wayne Winkler, but it appears we will have a review as to whether or not Watson did break the plane.
Remember, the ball, all the ball has to do is cross the front plane of the end zone for it to be a touchdown. That's going to be hard to tell from that angle. The best angle is going to be from down the line. This angle right here. Originally gets hit and knocked backwards, but again, just keeps driving his feet. And you're looking for that ball.
I don't think it's in.
And it is hard to tell. So many bodies, so much traffic in there. Creates a blurry picture.
And the fact that the ruling on the field is touchdown is so consequential here, because I'm not sure we ever see that ball get across the goal line on that last angle.
I'm with you. I don't think I see clearly that the ball crosses the plane, but you always, as we saw earlier on the fumble review, is there clear evidence to overturn it? And that's what I'm wondering right now. Is there enough evidence for the replay officials to see to overturn this? Not from that angle. I mean, I don't see a ball ever. Maybe from the other end zone view. And remember, it's the ref that is calling it has a better angle than we do, right? The ref is on the other side of the end zone, closer to where the ball was. But
after video review, the runner was short of the goal line, therefore it is not a touchdown. It will be second down, goal to go inside the 1. The replay decision qualified for 10-second runoff. Please set the game clock to 27 seconds, and the game clock will start on the referee's signal.
Now,
27 seconds on the game clock, please.
What you don't want to have here if you're Old Dominion is a false start. I mean, the ball is inside the 1. They said it's on the 1. It is on the inch-yard line. And Old Dominion's in shotgun here. I can't believe they're not going under center and running a quarterback sneak for how close the ball is to the end zone.
Old Dominion could take a timeout to negate the 10-second runoff. It does not appear that they are going to. So the clock will go to 27 seconds because of the 10-second runoff. Here are the final 2 minutes. I don't think Old Dominion has taken a snap from under center all game. They will not do it here. Ricky Ronnie can barely watch.
I mean, Virginia Tech is expecting run up the middle. They're going to sell out 9 guys to stop the run. And you're really at a numbers disadvantage running the ball here up the middle if you're Old Dominion, because they've got 9 and you've got 8. The quarterback, unless he can pull it and use his legs here.
Now, is Ricky Ronnie going to use the timeout? His team's heading back to the sideline.
You know, this is where, and you're exactly spot on, Kevin. Old Dominion has not been under center all game. I don't even know if they have any plays in their playbook where they are under center. And so it's not smart to all of a sudden just say, hey, we're going to put you under center and you got to deal with a center quarterback exchange when you never practice it. That's not good coaching. My point is the lost art of quarterbacks being able to get under center and take snaps from under center. It's really non-existent in the game anymore. And in moments like this where you need a quarterback sneak, you're inside the 1 yard line. It makes sense to have that, but teams just don't practice taking snaps under center. It's almost similar to bunting in baseball.
Right. And I'm sure everyone at home right now is going, well, why don't you practice then? That answer we don't have for you, unfortunately. 37 seconds are back on the clock, which means Old Dominion would have elected to use the timeout. Second down inside the 1. Again, it is Watson. This time he is in for sure. Light up the fireworks. Old Dominion is in the lead. For real this time. Blake Watson with a touchdown plunge. And pandemonium continues here in Norfolk.
How fitting is it that it's the redshirt junior Blake Watson who caps it off for a touchdown. Their bell cow. Over 1,000 yards rushing last year, and Ricky Ronnie told us a fresh running back is a good running back, and that's what Blake Watson is.
74 yards down the field after the interception. The ball that went through the hands of Holston into the hands of Henry. And Blake Watson, who ran for 1,112 yards a season ago, with one of the biggest yards of his life.
How about the running hard from Blake Watson on this drive? Remember earlier in the drive on 4th and 1, the play was blown up and it was dead. And Blake Watson took what should have been a major tackle for loss and somehow squeaked 2 yards out of it, which prolonged the drive. And then punches it in there when there was really not a lot of room. Bodies flying everywhere. He's a hard, tough, physical runner who keeps his leg going. Hard to bring down with just one guy. And Old Dominion offensively, who basically just stalled the first 3 quarters of tonight, really the first 3.5 quarters. The last drive, when you needed your players to step up, they stepped up in a big way.
The first offensive touchdown of the night for Old Dominion. It took them 59 minutes and 27 seconds. Now a squib kick. This will stay in bounds. It is not fielded cleanly by Keyshawn King. He is going in the wrong direction. Virginia Tech's going to have a whole lot of football field in front of it with just 30 seconds to go and a single timeout. You know, this is not 2018. Where Old Dominion was a 28.5-point underdog. Virginia Tech was seen as an ACC contender, and the Monarchs ran the Hokies out of town. The spread was about 6 or 7 here. In a way, it could be bigger because of what this Old Dominion program is now and what this could mean as a launching pad in their first game of the Sun Belt. They have 30 seconds to close it out. Grant Wells needs a lot of yards. Down the sideline, into the Virginia Tech bench. It's Connor Blumrick, and he somehow caught the ball, but did he come down in bounds? He did not. It is an incomplete pass and a shot to Blumrick.
Well, how about this throw from Grant Wells? He puts it right over on the sideline where it has to be. I mean, just a dime. Only puts it where his guy can get it. And the safety for Old Dominion with the play of maybe the game to force him out of bounds before Blumrick can get his foot down.
That was the little U safety, Taj Rael. Wells, 2nd and 10. Down the field to Blumrick again. Overthrown, contact. And the Virginia Tech bench is not going to get the flag they want. This time it was Trey Hawkins in coverage. And Hawkins is still on the turf with 15 seconds to go.
Hawkins is the senior corner who Coach Ricky Ronnie just raved about the way he's improved this offseason, his ball skills, how much improvement he's made as a cover corner. I think when he went up to that jump ball there, he landed on his back or his lower half just awkwardly. Again, another nice out and up play design where Blumrick gets a one-on-one jump ball opportunity. That's all you can kind of ask for. And yeah, Trey Hawkins just falls very awkwardly on that back.
Down to 15 seconds remaining. Hawkins will have to exit for at least one play. Virginia Tech, with a new kicker in Will Ross, feels comfortable up to around 50. That means they need to go about 55 yards in the next 14 seconds. I don't know where that one is in the playbook.
Your Old Dominion You cannot let anybody get behind you.
Wells way down the field. It is into coverage. It is intercepted. It is over. Lamarian James has sealed the victory for Old Dominion. And fittingly, it comes on a takeaway.
You're right, Kevin. When they look back on this game tonight for Virginia Tech, it's going to be the story of turnovers and missed opportunities. Wells just doing all he can here, is just throwing up a prayer. But Old Dominion, if you didn't know, now you know. Welcome to the Sun Belt.
The Old Dominion Monarchs were picked to finish last in the Sun Belt East. I say to the rest of the Sun Belt East, good luck. James, the sophomore from here in Norfolk, who had a great camp with a bunch of interceptions, seals the deal with a fourth and paint the Commonwealth Monarch blue. Here they come as Old Dominion takes down Virginia Tech. The largest crowd in the short history of Old Dominion football has spilled onto the turf. Their second win over a Power 5 team, both against the Virginia Tech Hokies. College football, we missed you so much, and yet we did not realize just how much we missed you.
What a statement win for Ricky Ronnie and his program. They are having a party in Norfolk tonight.
If you're a restaurant or a bar owner in Norfolk, you might want to think about changing your hours for one evening only. The first of a 10-year contract between Old Dominion and Virginia Tech, and the Monarchs, who are supposed to be little brother in the state, take down the Hokies. Ricky Ronnie is the winner in his first game against Brent Pry, with the two as head coaches. The longtime friends, the longtime Penn State cohorts and coordinators went head-to-head, and Ricky Ronnie's Monarchs, who took nearly the full 60 minutes to score an offensive touchdown, have won it 20-17. Maybe the signature win of the FBS era for Old Dominion, and an amazing entry into the Sun Belt.
And maybe the outsiders are surprised by this outcome, but people in this Old Dominion program, people that follow college football, and especially you and I, Kevin, this doesn't surprise us, because when you look at the depth that Old Dominion had coming back this year, the starters, the experience after last year's bowl run, 10 starters back on one side of the ball, 7 back on the other, 7 on defense, 10 on offense, an experienced quarterback, and a team that knows how to fight, and a team that has grit. After starting the year with 1 win, they rattle off 5, get to bowl eligibility last year, and they start this year with a bang.
You know, Ricky Ronnie told us that the 5-game win streak to end last season meant nothing. He said momentum disappears in an off season. The momentum, my friends, is back. Back in beautiful Monarch blue. This is everything college football is about, what you're seeing right here in Norfolk, Virginia. A program that started playing in 2009 has, for the second time in as many meetings here in Norfolk, taken out a program that began playing football in 1892. We are trying to find Ricky Ronnie somewhere down in the middle of all that.
Where's Waldo?
It would help if he wasn't wearing Monarch blue, or as they call it, Hudson blue. Hayden Wolf, the quarterback, who was beaten up and under siege for about 57 minutes of this game, came through with some huge throws at the end. Ollie Jennings with 3 big-time catches in the second half. Old Dominion 20, Virginia Tech 17 is your final score. It is an upset. It's not the shocker that 2018 was, but it is a signature and a statement for what is still one of the youngest programs in the Football Bowl subdivision. We're still trying to locate Ricky Ronnie, who is somewhere down there on the field.
I'm right here.
Ricky, you got us?
Yeah.
Ricky, it's Kevin and Hudson. Where are you right now?
I'm right here at the 5-yard line.
There you are. We found you.
Yeah, right here. I'm looking at you.
Ricky, what's this feeling like?
It's I wouldn't say it's unbelievable, because I'm going to say that I've been picturing this moment, for the past, probably I'd like to say only a week and a half, but it's been about 3 months. I probably haven't been as much on the 1-0 mentality as I say I was. And I was looking at this one for a while, and I know our kids have been as well.
Coach, you guys start off last year on a really bad note. Your team sticks together. They stay together. They rattle off 5 in a row. You get to bowl eligibility. This game today didn't go like you planned. It wasn't perfect. Offense struggled at times, but in the moment that you needed it the most, in that last drive, your players stepped up. What'd you think of their performance?
I just thought it was gutsy. I think we have a really tough team with tough men coaching it. And, I love our players. They're never going to quit. They're never going to question anything. They're just going to go out there and keep battling the whole time. And, when you play that hard and you play that physical, you make your own luck happen. I thought we did a great job of just maintaining our composure and making plays when we needed to.
Ricky, what does this mean for Old Dominion football?
It means we get a chance to go 1-0 next week, and I know that's really a cliche thing, but that is the truth. When you win one like this, the next one gets a little bit bigger. It's one of these things that I just love, our opportunity to be able to go 1-0. I'm lucky to be able to coach this team. This is some of the best men I'm ever going to be around, and I couldn't be more thankful for it.
How does Ricky Ronnie celebrate this tonight?
I go spend it with my, it's my mom's birthday. So my mom is here, so I'm going to go spend it with my wife, my 2 boys, Ryder and Jake, and my mother and my aunt, and who's my godmother. So that's going to be a pretty awesome deal right there.
That's an all-time birthday. Happy birthday to your mom, Ricky Ronnie. Congratulations on the win.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
What a night for Ricky Ronnie. What a night for the Ronnie family. Happy birthday, Mom. If we knew that, we would have known this was going to happen. Hey, great to be calling college football with you again, Hudson. That was awesome. 20-17 is your final. Guess what? It's Saturday tomorrow. There's going to be a lot more of this. Coming up next, the Geico High School Football Showcase from Concord, California. For Hudson, our entire great crew, I'm Kevin Brown. Old Dominion.
You're watching the 2022 Geico ESPN High School Football Showcase, presented by Axe. Well, when you have the top-ranked teams in Northern California, all your friends want to come along for the ride. This place is juiced. Tom Brady's school is in town. Sarah taking on Davis.